bailout from the IMF in the foreseeable future. Also coming up, Supreme Court rejects former Attorney General Godfrey Dami's request to withdraw service as counsel for former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu. And on international relations, as per Professor Mauku Yevuga support campaign hashtag Don't Renew Goldfields lead.
I thought that South African companies operating in Ghana, Stanbic Bank, Goldfields, and MTN, they should have been speaking, defending the interests of migrants that have been chased.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasia Latofosin, has assured that Ghana will no longer require a financial bailout from the International Monetary Fund in the foreseeable future. He says fiscal prudence and discipline have helped move Ghana's economy from the intensive care unit to the wellness center. He was addressing Parliament last night.
We will continue our collaboration with the IMF under Article 4 and other instruments. I repeat, no further IMF financial bailout is currently required in the foreseeable future. Right, Honourable Speaker, we have evolved from the position of supplicant to one of a partner with the International Monetary Fund. Mr. Speaker, it is therefore my singular honour to announce to the House that Ghana has successfully concluded the final review of the current financial bailout program pending approval by the IMF Executive Board.
And you heard that the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasia Latofosin. There's growing wave of anger and a call for retaliation on social media after the evacuation of hundreds of Ghanaians from South Africa following series of xenophobic attacks. Ghanaians online have been calling for economic retaliation against South African business interests operating in Ghana. One major target is the Takwa mining lease held by South African mining giants Goldfields. Under the trending hashtag Don't Renew Goldfields lease, some Ghanaians are urging government not to renew the company's lease when it expires. Kofi Bento is Vice President of Imani Ghana, and he spoke earlier to 3FM.
Going really well. I was thinking of collecting signatures, but it has not been necessary. There is such an overwhelming support that I think the government itself has taken notice. So the campaign actually is going very, very well. I think the government is seeing and hearing, and I believe it will have some sort of effect. There's been a couple of discussions already about the collateral economic benefit of Goldfields in Ghana, but you have to weigh that against many things. And the bottom line is that at the end of the day, Goldfields has to show that it is not just here to mine our gold, make money, and go away.
And I heard that the Vice President of Imani Africa, Kofi Bento. Meanwhile, international relations expert and senior lecturer at GIMPA, Professor Mauku Yevuga, fully supports the campaign.
For me, the campaign that Kofi Bento and others are leading is legitimate, and it will bring the issue of business ethics and corporate accountability to the fore. Because, like you rightly mentioned, we would have thought that South African companies operating in Ghana, Stanbic Bank, Goldfields, and MTN, they should have been speaking, clearly and, defending the interests of migrants that have been chased.
And you heard the international relations expert, Professor Mauku Yevuga. The Supreme Court has rejected former Attorney General Godfrey Dami's request to withdraw his legal services as counsel for former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu after describing it as defective. The Apex Court held that the lead counsel for the former CJ failed to serve his client with letter of withdrawal notice. The court was hearing the suit challenging the removal process of former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu, and will bring you more later. Now, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2025 has entered the consideration stage after it was read for the first and second time in Parliament. There was heated debate on why former President Akufo-Addo declined to sign the anti-LGBTQI bill in 2024 after it was passed. Here are excerpts of what transpired in Parliament yesterday.
And we are not going to allow you. If you are not excited about the use of resisted, why are you trying to use it on somebody else? You are claiming that you did not resist.
Honorable members, with all due respect, I was in Parliament as a ranking member when the letter emanating from the Executive Secretary came to the floor of the House. And the content was very clear. The Hansard of this House will bear everybody out. That is a matter of facts. Yes, Honorable Roxanne Nelson.
Mr. Speaker, it reads the Secretary to the President, Office of the President, Jubilee House, Accra. Attention, Nana Bedietu Asante. Dear Secretary to the President, reply, transmission of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. I am writing to acknowledge receipt of your letter number OPS 140/1/24/235 dated 18th March 2024 on the above subject matter and received in my office on 19th March 2024. I have taken note of the contents of the letter, particularly the text in the last paragraph, which says that in the circumstances you are kindly requested to cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the President until matters before the Supreme Court are resolved. Please, Jerry.
And it had a debate on the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2025 as it happened in Parliament yesterday. And that's it for the 6 a.m. news here on 3FM 92.7. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good morning.
Said 7.
Now revealed in you are Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus. You didn't want heaven without us. So Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. And what could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a wonderful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a wonderful name.
The best in the morning. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Morning Show. 3FM 92.7. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio. 3FM Sunrise. 3FM Morning Show. 3FM 92.7.
3FM Sunrise.
Sunrise on 3FM.
3FM Sunrise.
What is for God, it ain't for God. Make you know they got it for Jesus. For sure some love, make you know they got it your ego. If you the body pain, you talk to God. Make you know they follow the people. And if you say you go they play, you can't just you never go carry some zero.
Allahu Akbar, give thanks to God for give a big chance to kiss from, of course. C1, boys just the force. Now me tongue ice water and then me your boss. Kwame rush about 3-6 and loss. Faith move mountains, it open doors. May you be bigger, bigger, blessed be your measure. When the storms come, may you weather. May you find peace, love, treasure, and never ever be fed up. Nyame ma omega, ega, cheddar. Now you be I get better. Now you be I get blessings. No failure, just lessons.
For you, no. Make you know they look for my own name. I know they look for you, no. Make you know they look for my own name. What is for God, it ain't for God. Make you know they got it for Caesar. For sure some love, make you know they got it your ego. If you the body pain, you talk to God. Make you know they follow top people. And if you say you go they pray, you can't just
3FM Sunrise.
This one say that. Why can't we all live together? If you give me coke, I give you Fanta. Give me hand, I give you feather. And if your God no look like my God, though, no me say I'm unbeliever. Only one love believer. Make you know they lose, they gotta ship up. Where you go, you lose everything you love, everything.
3FM Sunrise.
Sunrise on 3FM.
Make you know they look for my own name. I know they look for you, no. Make you know they look for my own name. What is for God, it ain't for God. Make you know they got it for Caesar. For sure
Susinudi. Obinya wayo, Obine de Susinudi, Obinya wayo, Obine de Susinudi, Obinya wayo, Obine de Susinudi, Obinya wayo, Obine de Susinudi,
3FM Sunrise.
Show fear while again, Grandpa be the fear or would it chill? No rushing, what's happening to them? At the mini devil go chill. Now we're in for more than listen. Money no so anchor then. Into game, jar with a cool. Roman father so I am then. I will buy some girl. One woman in so anchor then. What about my head in the bed? More the prison so on ye then. Make a dash of many palia, and you will not be a you. Baby, baby, the new tilta. Not that one I'll be a so. Feel so be now, why? Be the days to see no deepo. It's a word to them. Oh, be no need on the inside. Oh, this one to Moado. See, they be a hard and an army are safe. It's a one power, Dina, you. Mother, much so I had then.
3FM Sunrise.
Kade tilapia say eagle jaman ya we young with their summer the swimming I will see your best on to the next will pass forget until then you happy yourself. Yeah, you mate are making money building mansions, you mate are getting married. Oh, you true. You mate you about them could be we will marry I being married. Honestly, you pay the service because 37 so be so much and they can't forget to koto sane you book on you do be a better susuka and quando be best or sisika so they will help you and I am lucky. As a little boss, Susuka. As a little boss, Susuka. Obina wayo, Obina de Susuudi, Obina wayo, Obina de Susuudi.
3FM Sunrise.
Lord, I'm amazed, I don't know if you describe my feelings. Give me all the love when I need it.
Sunrise.
Oh, your name is one more. Could I ask for
3FM.
That's the way that you make me feel. I'll be lying if I say I'm not patient enough. Tell me one more. Could I ask for more? Blessings flow like a river. Freezing cold in Medina. Neverland Peter. Come saying cool na majija. Took some potion dinner. I'm a master. Might be hosting a dinner. Seafood a granted your love and gizzard. Vegetarian sebe yemu stir fry. Veggies of course no calamari. I'm full of love, can't see on your telly. Son of the sun, I'm never unlucky. It's written and bound to happiness.
3FM Sunrise.
My shari coco, why worry? Keep going, man, bully jack. I say some grace for you. Pick yourself off the floor. You design, God ensures. Keep going, man, bully jack. I say some grace for you. Pick yourself off the floor. You design, God ensures. Lord, I'm amazed, I don't know if you describe my feelings. Give me all the love when I need it. Oh, your name is one more. Could I ask for more? That's the way that you make me feel. I'll be lying if I say I'm not patient enough. Tell me one more, could I ask for more? Lord, I'm amazed, I don't know if you describe my feelings. Give me all the love when I need it. Oh, your name is one more, could I ask for more? That's the way that you make me feel. I'll be lying if I say I'm not patient enough. Tell me one more, could I ask for more?
3FM Sunrise.
And it's some 26 minutes after 6 in the morning. Good morning to you wherever you're listening to us from. And if nobody has told you yet this morning, you made it to Friday.
I'm not patient enough. Tell me one more, could I ask for?
I know the week has not been the easiest for everybody. For some people, it's been work stress. For some, it's been financial pressure. And for others, it's just that feeling of being too tired, but still having to show up. But some way, somehow, you are here. You got through Monday, you survived Tuesday, you managed Wednesday. And on Thursday, you pushed through. And now Friday is standing in front of you.
Keep going,
That alone, my brother, my sister, is not small. Because sometimes we underestimate what it means just to keep going.
I say some grace for you.
Exactly. We have to keep going.
Lord,
and when we go all the way, sometimes we have to rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is not failure. Rest is part of surviving this whole thing called life.
Tell me one more, could I ask for?
Because listen, if you don't pause once a while,
describe my feelings, give me all the love.
Even your mind will start to protest.
One more, could I ask for?
Your body will start to complain.
I'll be lying if I say I'm not.
Whatever motivation you have, it will start to disappear. So as we head into the weekend, if you can slow down small, I urge you to do it. If you can laugh small, I urge you to do it. And if you can sleep properly for once, very important, you should do it.
Lord, I'm amazed, I know if it is.
But you can even sit just to breathe without thinking about anything.
One more, could I ask for? That's the way that you
do it, because sometimes not everything in life is a race.
Tell me one more.
Some things are just a journey.
Blessings flow.
And while you're finding your rhythm this morning, I want to welcome you to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Might be hosting a dinner.
This morning we're just not waking you up. We are walking the morning with you. We bring you the news, bring you the conversations, the pressure points, and the real stories shaping your day. The real stories shaping the country. It's Friday, the 29th day of May 2026, and we have another full morning ahead.
For you, pick yourself off the floor, you design.
In a moment, we'll start the morning with news headlines and everything you need to know to step into the day so that you are informed.
Lord, I'm amazed, I know if you describe my feelings. Give me all the love when I need it.
Later, sports comes in strong. Local and international conversations are building. From Ghana's football discussions to the big European match build-ups and everything fans are arguing about before the weekend even starts. The Champions League final is upon us. PSG and Arsenal. Well, I'm personally vouching for PSG though. I'm an Arsenal hater through and through. And after sports this morning, we'll get into the big conversations. This morning, we'll look at the wage dam situation and ask a difficult but important question. When pressure builds around major infrastructure, what comes first? Human safety or protecting the system itself? Because behind every technical decision, there are real people living with real risk. Take a trip to Wager. Take you there this morning, and you see the impact of what is happening. What can we do better? Who has responsibility? You and I, the Assembly, Ghana Water Company, Water Resources. We'll let you know what all of us can do to help. Also this morning, we'll zoom out to the global migration conversation. Is the world becoming more hostile to migrants, or countries are just simply enforcing their laws and they're doing that more strictly? And our economic realities at home, are they quietly pushing more people into dangerous choices abroad? South Africa, Cambodia, United States of America, some countries in the Scandinavian. We'll get into that conversation this morning as well. And we'll see if we can take a minute to look at the politics around the anti-LGBTQ bill passage. The debate was in Parliament yesterday. The public reaction, the political positioning. most definitely the national conversations it continues to trigger. And for all of this, we're joined by voices with deep experience in politics, deep experience in security, public affairs, governance, to help us make sense of all of it. And like you know, I'm not doing it alone. Okay, Codjoe will be here, but most importantly, you the listener. Because the morning and the sun rises only when you're part of it. My name is Noble Crosby, Annan. This is Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Let's get into the morning.
3FM Sunrise.
And just before we get into the newspaper review segment, I'd like to take you to some online portals this morning to let you know some of the stories being reported on the various online portals. And of course, I'll start with 3news.com. Visit 3news.com this morning. From ICU to Wellness Center. After forcing tells Parliament, Ghana no longer needs IMF financial bailout. Also, most popular MPs urged to champion green energy projects in their constituencies. How does the construction of 24-hour markets be an answer to Formula 133? Dr. Bano is asking government. Also, operationalize Wager Children's Hospital immediately. Minority to government. IGP promotes 5 police officers for arresting Kwafokrom Gold filling station robbery suspects. You can also find the full statement from the finance minister to forcing as he addressed Parliament on Ghana's exit from the IMF bailout. All on 3news.com. Quick trip to myjoyonline.com this morning. Pope Leo's slave trade apology sparks fresh push for global justice. That's according to government. Also, buffer stock trial stalls as judge rejects and sign witness statements. In Tempane, 3 suspects arrested over deadly Warrienga attacks. Oil falls over 1% on reports of potential US-Iran ceasefire deal. There's an interesting story here for those of you who are interested in international news. US government prepares to print $250 notes featuring Trump's face. This one is back home in the country. Says that over 3 million Ghanaians live with mild mental health conditions. And this is one that we can possibly have a conversation on. Over 3 million Ghanaians live with mild mental health conditions. You find these stories and more when you visit myjoyonline.com. To City Newsroom, don't react emotionally. Catholic bishops on South Africa tensions. And the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, has called for calm amid rises in xenophobic tensions in South Africa and retaliatory calls by some Ghanaians. Also, Ghana to host reparations summit on June 17. Government to introduce bill to reform Cocoa Board according to Otto Forcing, the finance minister. Ghana will seek compensation for any seized business in South Africa according to Benjamin Kwashi. And still on xenophobia, Nigeria to evacuate citizens from South Africa next week. The Wager Dam is also in the news there. Jerry Ahmed Shaib, he is the member of parliament for the area, and it says that I have been swimming for days. The entire place is flooded, no place for him to step. So the member of parliament says that he has been swimming. And just like you already know, the Wager Dam, the spillage of the dam, the impact it is having, it is all in the conversation this morning. I'm sure you know by now that 80% of evacuated Ghanaians from from South Africa, they had valid documents, according to the High Commissioner. That is contrary to claims by some officials in South Africa that the Ghanaians who were brought home, majority of them did not have their papers or were not legal in South Africa. The High Commissioner says 80% of the 300 who have come to Ghana let me let you listen to this. And this is from a South African official when he was making that claim or that allegation that now the High Commissioner of Ghana to South Africa has come to clearly debunk. Take a listen.
What we found is that of the 300, only 10 of them are legal in the country. So quite a number of them is in non-compliance to our Immigration Act. And as I indicated, we'll make sure that certain enforcement actions are implemented. We found that many of them did not comply with the South African immigration legislation. And there are certain transgressions found, and therefore we obviously will have to make sure that certain sanctions enforced. But I think what's important is that the collaboration with the Ghanaian embassy and ourselves to make sure that we have the numbers that they indicated they have, bring them here to the airport, and to make sure that the processes are followed here as well.
Let me state on record that 80% of the 300 people that we got repatriated to Ghana today, 80% were documented immigrants in South Africa. 20% were undocumented. Now, let me explain. Emmanuel Asamoah, the gentleman that I came to Ghana with, the first gentleman who was accosted by this group, and then they humiliated him, and then they said his documents were fake and all of that. When we told them that the documents were not fake, it was the same immigration department officials who said, no, his documents were faked. We knew it was not fake because we knew very well that they were spinning the whole story. What did we do? I traveled with Emmanuel Asamoah to Accra, Ghana. We went through all immigration posts. We went through immigration modalities. We went through to the counter where Border Management Authority is, and nobody said he was illegal. He was very legal in the country, reaffirming our stance that this whole idea of calling people undocumented and they not being able to identify what being an undocumented immigrant in South Africa is, that is where we are getting to where we are getting to. I've challenged the immigration official who put out that figure that come, let's all put our books out and let's ensure that everybody sees what it is that we saw during the process of us all coming together, working for these Ghanaians to leave South Africa and go to Ghana. You see, when state institutions who are supposed to take accountability for certain things that they do that are not right decides to also join the propaganda of individuals in the country, then that is where you find no seeming solution to this whole xenophobic attack and how it's unfolding. Because at the end of the day, be clear with the people. Explain to them what we mean by documented and undocumented immigrants in your country. I'm sure that we've challenged them. I'm sure that in the days to come, we'll put our facts out there for everybody to see and for everybody to judge. I'm not here to say that he's doing that for a purpose or whatever. He worked very nicely with us. He was at the Ghana High Commission, sat in our offices, worked with us very well. So I'm surprised that these figures are coming from him. But I'm sure that in the days to come, you hear him retracting those stories and then we move on from there.
Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, His Excellency Benjamin Kwashi, the poster boy of the moment. Now, we also understand that Nigeria is expected to begin evacuating its citizens from South Africa next week, amid rising concerns over xenophobic attacks and growing hostility toward foreign nationals. See, and that remark, it is coming amid criticism from some South African figures, including politician Julius Malema, who has argued that Ghana overstated its decision to evacuate its nationals. That's what Julius Malema said. He says that we are overreacting. We overstated our decision to evacuate our nationals.
Waiting for an aircraft from Nigeria to convey you to either Lagos or Abuja. That have indicated interest for voluntary return to Nigeria are some persons that don't have, will I say, legal requirement to live in South Africa. Maybe those that their visas have expired or their documentation is not regular.
Sunrise.
We are not waiting for an aircraft from Nigeria to convey you to either Lagos or Abuja. That have indicated interest.
That when it is certain, the Ghana response was not necessary because it now creates an impression that we are all like that. When it is certain section of our society that needs to be contained by law enforcement. And one Ghanaian lady was saying, you see, the problem is, and I wouldn't have taken this option. The problem is we're being beaten in front of the police and the police are not doing anything. That's the problem. And when this opportunity came for me to leave, I left because if the police can't defend me, it means the state is in agreement with the people who are beating me. So we think it was too quick. We'll still resolve this, and President of Ghana should have given us, some time to really deal with this matter, and we'll get to the bottom of it. We hope they will come back to their senses. We don't have to respond the same way they did we need to pursue the diplomatic engagements with Ghana until we find one another. We don't think Ghana responded in a manner that really reinforces dialogue and diplomatic engagements. It actually creates a very bad, extreme situation, which is not. It's a selected few, and we are pursuing and persuading government to still act on those few, and we're saying to them, they must give us some time, they must be patient, and those who don't feel safe, especially the legally documented Ghanaians, should be able to run to police stations for safety, and then they will be directed to rightful places where they will be secured. But, you know, it's an emotional issue for many of them, understandably so, but the reaction of government should have been, postponed a bit to give us an opportunity to deal with what is happening here in South Africa.
Just listening to the irony. You are saying that there's a problem that Ghanaians are there and they are beating Ghanaians in the presence of police officers. The police officers are not doing anything. And you say that it is a problem. And that it appears the state has sanctioned this. If the lady you were talking to, if the Ghanaian lady who spoke with you and told you the story, if she were your sister, would you say that the government is overreacting? You can't tell us what to do, Julius. You can't tell us what to do. We put our nationals first all the time, wherever they find themselves. Our nationals are important to us. Do whatever you want to do with your nationals, Julius. We will not sit and allow you to torment, to abuse, to torture our citizens in South Africa. Like the Foreign Affairs Minister said, Ghanaians are not orphans. And when we come for them home, come and tell us that we are overreacting. In your capacity as a what? Okay, Codjoe, I don't know what you make of what Julius is saying, that we are overreacting, when he has also told a story of how the beating is happening in the presence of police officers. Good morning.
Yes, I think he's just being a bit diplomatic. He's trying to please South Africans and trying to...
Unnecessary diplomacy.
Yes.
That's how I'll call it.
He's trying to please South Africans and trying to also appeal to Ghanaians as well. But in his appeals, he goofed. You cannot be saying... coming from Malema, I was surprised. What do you expect a foreign minister to do? Sit down and look? Wait small so they kill more and assault more, hurt more, steal more. It's unfortunate.
When moments ago, days before this interview, he came to apologize, to say that it's not all South Africans who are like this, so forgive those who are doing this. And then you come later and come and say that, oh.
But Crosby, it's what's striking is that so far we have not had a South African brand condemn the xenophobia attacks on Ghanaians. We have not heard any Ghanaian brand or any South African brand or any South African business or organization in Ghana condemn the xenophobia attack. One would have even thought that in the haste of our evacuation and our plans to reintegrate them, being resident in Ghana, they would have probably even collaborated with our security agencies and our interior ministry to properly integrate them into the society. And that would have been a show of goodwill, but it would have gone a long way to improve diplomacy. So it's unfortunate that we have the likes of Brawl, we have the likes of DSTV, name them.
Yes.
Quite a number of them. Big multinational companies. And we haven't heard a statement or we haven't received any formal condemnation of the xenophobia attacks against Ghanaians in South Africa.
They say that pinching your friend, pinching tree.
It's unfortunate. So and Julius Malema must come again.
He must come again big time.
When you do yourself way too long, you will have to come again.
And there's it's the generational thinking of South Africans for me. Now, this protest, the violence, the xenophobia attacks, it has left the adult generation and even school children are also demanding the removal of foreign nationals from their schools. And that happened yesterday. Yesterday, DW Africa reported that riots in South Africa schools, some schools in South Africa, because the students there, and when I say students, I mean students. I don't mean university students. I mean students.
High school.
High school students. You come to your JHS, your SHS in Ghana, that's the equivalent. They are saying that foreign students in the schools should leave. It has left the ordinary streets, the ordinary South African, to even the people they are being taught in schools. And it's very disturbing. How does South Africa deal with this thinking? And they are saying they should leave their schools. You see, ordinarily the thinking about those who are perpetrating these attacks is that they are taking our jobs.
Yes.
Those in schools, what is their reason for asking the foreign nationals to leave too?
You see, it's what I call the herd mentality, or better still, the crowd mentality.
Right.
You know, when the head of your household is not thinking right, it trickles down. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing.
Clearly.
Because, I mean, if your children were to be of a certain misbehavior, I'm sure you will discipline them. But when you yourself are not disciplined, I mean, how do you discipline your children?
They're seeing what you're doing.
They're
just
seeing what you're doing.
Playing it back to you.
So it's that's for me. And unfortunately, we're not saying illegal immigration is good.
No.
It's not good. Illegal migration, I mean, we're not saying it's good. It's not a good thing. But then again, we saw what happened in the U.S. We see what happens in other places. It's law enforcement that carries out some of these things. So if you're saying it's not good, if you're saying Ghanaians are not good enough in South Africa because they are illegal immigrants, what is your law enforcement doing about it? Is it your law enforcement that has broken down beyond efficiency and has allowed illegal immigrants to infiltrate your country? But that is one thing. If you're not a law enforcement agency or a law enforcement officer, what business do you have confronting fellow Africans or I mean, not just Africans, anybody of a kind, to be asking, why are your papers? Go back to your country.
What is your capacity?
Are South Africans not living overseas? So, you hear a lot of pressure coming from certain sections of Ghanaians as well, that, well, we should replicate the same thing. Unfortunately and fortunately, our foreign minister has set a very good pace.
Great.
He has taught Ghanaians in a subtle way that diplomacy matters in times like this. We will not have a repetition of Ghana must go, Nigeria must go, so there will be no South Africa must go. But we are hoping that our president and the foreign minister, together with all those thinking Ghanaians who make decisions, will not let this one slide. We are hoping that they will take a decision that is in the interest of the sovereignty of Ghana and protect its citizens at best.
As we protect our citizens, there's also the need to protect the businesses they owe in South Africa. Now that 300 of them have come, some had businesses, some had families, homes, and all of that, and it was clearly unsafe for them to continue living there. So they had to prioritize themselves, their lives first. So now they are in Ghana. What happens to their properties in South Africa? There are concerns that these people that we're seeing, if you join us on Facebook right now, you'd see how students in South Africa were protesting and demanding that foreign nationals, foreign students leave their schools.
Crosby, yesterday we were talking about the data from their immigration that said 10 out of the 300 were legal.
Were the only legal
yes, were the only
ones,
legal ones. But it turns out that about 80%.
Yes. That's according to
of the
Benjamin
300
question.
That were evacuated
were very legal.
Were legal.
Yeah.
And a Nigerian friend who's gone back home to Lagos was telling me, he says, okay, there's someone who owes me. He owes me money, a South African who owes me money. He owes me almost $12,000. And when the routes started, I became a target because I had been hard on him for the past few weeks, trying to recover my money. So it was an opportunity for him.
Goodness.
Now I'm back in Lagos, and how do I even recover my money? I had to flee because I, per one, became a target. So you can imagine the kind of stories, the kind of ongoings that are happening to our Ghanaian and brothers and sisters, and even fellow Africans, our Nigerian cousins as well. And it's important that there must be reparations at the end of the day. The South African government must, do the needful.
Right.
They must compensate needfully.
And it's good that Benjamin Kwashi is speaking. He says that Ghana will seek compensation for any seized business in South Africa. It says that government is taking firm steps to protect Ghanaian-owned businesses in South Africa and ensure that any attempt to seize or interfere with them is met with compensation or legal action. So he says that Ghana has already begun documenting and registering the businesses of its nationals in South Africa, including their legal ownership details, as part of efforts to safeguard their investment. And he stressed that Ghana will insist on what he describes as realistic compensation for affected business owners who have invested over the years in building their enterprises and contributing to the South African economy. And he indicated that Ghana intends to elevate the matter at the African Union level, describing it as part of broader efforts to address recurring xenophobic incidents affecting African nationals in South Africa. He says that Ghana has already signaled its position to South African authorities and expects the matter to be taken seriously to avoid diplomatic escalation, because the government of Ghana can only do so much.
Yes.
If the situation goes over their heads, they will not be able to control entirely how the ordinary citizen in Ghana reacts to a South African living in Ghana. If you have a business, a company right now, if you're an employee of any company, imagine there are 100 of you, and then 2 are South Africans in this period. Can you imagine the kind of conversations they'll be having with the South African in the company right now?
Yes.
Although there are no intentions to, abuse them, beat them like they're doing to us, but if South Africa does not do the right things, if this does not stop, it will be difficult for South Africans to enjoy peace in Ghana. Not because we're going to beat them, not because
not just in Ghana, but all over the world.
Everywhere else.
Because, they are very fortunate that Ghana is a very peace-loving country. We are calm, and sometimes we appear timid, but we are not until we are pushed to
when push comes to shove.
And Kwesiata will say when your back is against the wall, or when your back is up against the wall. When our backs are up against the wall, we're different Ghanaians, and we're just hoping that they don't push us
too much
to that level, because
that's enough already.
The reaction wouldn't be pleasant. Unfortunately, there are more Ghanaians living in South Africa, so if we should react carelessly or irresponsibly like they have, then we are threatening the livelihoods of the others who have not come back home, the others who have even bigger businesses. Yesterday I saw a post from one of their xenophobic groups saying that very soon they'll be attacking big Ghanaian businesses and churches in South Africa.
See, and you're able to post this on social media.
And the government sits
there, looks at you, does not do anything.
So xenophobia is their new apartheid. I think it's unfortunate that they are dealing with xenophobia. They are dealing with the situation like it's apartheid, while there are still elements of apartheid looking at them in the face.
On Facebook this morning, there's a comment from Aaron Babako. He says, good morning to you. The repatriation of Ghanaian citizens from South Africa by the current administration represents a critical and timely intervention. And he says that by prioritizing the safety of its nationals in the face of xenophobic hostility, driven by localized tensions over economic competition and employment, the government has successfully fulfilled its fundamental duty of citizen protection. However, the transition from crisis management to long-term reintegration is equally vital to mitigate the immediate psychological distress and economic uncertainty facing the returnees. The government must swiftly design and implement targeted employment and entrepreneurial programs. Providing these structured economic lifelines is essential not only to stabilize their livelihoods, but also to ensure their seamless and productive reabsorption into the domestic economy. Aaron, thank you so much for the message, and thank you to those who have joined us on Facebook. If you listen to the lived experiences of Ghanaians in South Africa, I was listening to one yesterday, and he said, in South Africa, broad daylight, a thief can have a knife to your neck, and other South Africans will be passing, they'll see it, not do anything. You see the communal nature of Ghanaians. Imagine, and sometimes we take it to extreme levels. You're here, you hear somebody screaming thief. Your first instinct, go out.
Who is in danger?
See what is happening there.
Yeah.
South Africans, I understand, they don't care. Particularly if you're not one of them.
Well, I'll say to every rule, there's an exception. I'm sure. I know well-meaning South Africans who are very lovely people. In fact, I have South African friends, quite a number of them, and most of them have reached out to find out how Ghana is dealing with this, and they wish they could help in a way or the other. But unfortunately, their hands are tied because their government, and they're blaming their government. And they themselves are surprised that every election season, xenophobia rears its head, and can't understand why this is happening. I think those South Africans are exceptions to this rule of nonchalance when it comes to the general South African populace. And it's unfortunate, but we have seen worse. There are things that happen in South Africa that will never happen in Ghana, as you know. And sometimes you wonder, is this the African giant? you know, because once upon a time, the entire Africa came together to fight for South Africa. You know, there was a social media post making rounds. A Ghanaian doctor, who actually donated handsomely to the South African people at the time. It was a personal donation directly to the late Nelson Mandela in efforts, in attempts to support them fight apartheid and injustice. And fast forward down the line, South Africans should be asking themselves, so what are African heroes saying? What would Nelson Mandela be saying? He must be cringing in his grave right now. What is Winnie Mandela saying? I mean, what will Nkrumah think of Ghanaians if we should react the same way? So we will exercise restraint, but I think it's important that their government does more than just the painful rhetoric of nothing. And the likes of Malema should be guided, because if Ghanaians should issue a 72-hour notice to South African businesses and brands for a consumer boycott. I say a consumer boycott because that's the most civil thing to do, and that's within the confines of law, in civil disobedience. If Ghanaians should do that, it wouldn't be pleasant.
And bearing in mind how much money they are able to get from Ghanaians consuming their products.
That is why,
and this money does not stay in Ghana.
But
it
Crosby,
goes back to them.
That is why we should ensure that certain key sectors of our economy are owned by Ghanaians.
True.
Or for Ghanaians. And
so we can have the leeway to feel big and make some decisions.
Because I was thinking of a consumer boycott yesterday, and I asked myself, so if I'm thinking of a consumer boycott, the first target would be MTN. And unfortunately, I'm an MTN user. I use MTN. So I'm asking myself, hey, what am I going to do? You know, am I going to port to Airtel, which does not... So it's important. It's important. It's Airtel Tigo is now Telecel, and
but I mean
Airtel Tigo.
It's only a fact that
Airtel Tigo is now 80.
Yes, it's now 80.
And Vodafone is now Telecel.
Yes.
So,
but of course, MTN is the significant. It has significant market power. So SMP. So it's only a fact that is mentioned.
So it's unfortunate, but even if we should attempt that, I mean, we will still bleed as a country.
Of course.
And that's the painful truth. So it's important that. Moving forward, yes, we think about some of these things and largely and ensure that certain key sectors of our economy are owned by Ghanaians, are for Ghanaians and of Ghanaians, and that's democracy at its best.
Under Dr. Nkrumah, Ghana opened its doors to South African freedom fighters and exiled activists. Accra became a political hub for anti-apartheid movements, including the ANC and Pan-Africanist Congress. And South African activists used Ghana to organize internationally, seek diplomatic backing, raise funds, coordinate liberal campaigns. Ghana supported Nelson Mandela and the ANC. When Nelson Mandela visited Ghana in '62, seeking support for the anti-apartheid struggle, Ghana reportedly provided logistical support, diplomatic backing, travel documentation, financial assistance to the ANC. But I still put in work, I'm even out before this. And then former President Jerry John Rawlings, he later revealed Ghana contributed about $1 million to Mandela's struggle during the apartheid years. Why wouldn't him say did you hear that? Ghana offered education to South African exiles, scholarships, safe residences, academic training. We've been up in here alone like Brazilian weaves. When a weekdays filled without brilliant. Ghana also helped isolate apartheid South Africa internationally. Ghana was among the first African countries to aggressively oppose apartheid diplomatically. In '61, Ghana imposed a total ban on exports to apartheid South Africa and Southwest Africa, talking about Namibia. Ghana pushed for sanctions, diplomatic isolation, the international condemnation of apartheid. Ghana championed Pan-African solidarity. See, Nkrumah believed that South Africa's liberation was an African responsibility, not just a South African issue. His Pan-African philosophy treated apartheid as a threat to all black Africans, a continuation of colonial oppression on the continent. And that is why Ghana invested politically and financially in liberation movements across South Africa. Ghana also created anti-apartheid institutions, established the Ghana National Committee Against Apartheid, that was around '67, to sustain advocacy and mobilize support against apartheid. Civil society groups, student unions, politicians, actively campaigning against the apartheid regime for decades. And then this history, it resurfaces whenever there are xenophobic attacks, deportation tensions, anti-foreigner protests in South Africa involving other Africans, including Ghanaians. I'm even out before. Ghana for. On Friday, any say that again.
And so
that's true.
I mean, humanity first. And why should we be doing this to fellow Africans and still preach Pan-Africanism? No, it's a defeat towards the Pan-African struggle.
Well, what are we looking at here?
So we're looking at Dr. Vincent Anku, who issued a check of $10,000.
Come to Facebook right now, and you'd see the check we're talking about. This is
to Nelson Mandela.
To Nelson Mandela, issued by a Ghanaian, his own personal money.
Yes.
And that check is on Facebook right now. Come and you'd see what we're talking about. $10,000. First National Bank. That's what I see.
Yes. So his son shared this on his social media, Facebook. And he did that only to demonstrate how committed Ghanaians were towards the South African struggle.
Liberation of South Africa.
Yes, the liberation of South Africa from the injustice that had been done them.
And the name at the back of the card, of the check is Nelson Mandela.
With his signature.
With Nelson Mandela's signature.
Yes.
Pay to the order of any banker or trust company, prior endorsement guaranteed. Nedbank Limited, Fox Street, Johannesburg. Want of endorsement confirmed. Pays account credited for Nedbank Limited, Fox Street, Johannesburg. This is a check that Vincent Anku, a Ghanaian, paid to Nelson Mandela. Not because he owed Nelson Mandela money, no. Not because Nelson Mandela had done something for him, no.
No.
Because he wanted to support the fight against apartheid.
Yes. $10,000 back
at that
in the
time
day was a lot.
Now, how much is it right now? How much is $10,000 right now compared to the value at that time? Then after all of this that you people we have done for you, you come to tell us that we should leave your place because you have seen.
Driving in a storm, how fit see ahead. Weather forecast a bit nippy ahead. Beggars can't choose, but be picky instead. 95 blues, kick me.
There's a global picture we'll be looking at. The rise in, or the seeming rise in right-wing policies.
Cooking in the morning. And sure that them day weekend so strong helps to shine the weekdays. Mommy says
against immigration.
Faith and faith, no faith and apes, a basic case of faith in something great, but still from 6 to 6 with stones and bricks, a building a future. I hope I live to see him. I barely no sleep, give me some wavy. Boys are bread all week, give me some wavy. Boys are living no be cheap, give me some wavy. But thank God.
Before we get into other conversations this morning, the New Center newspaper, it says that emergency care gaps exposed. And that story is on page 2 of the paper. Experts blame poor funding, weak management, and fragile patient protections. Africa must tell the mobile money success story. According to Juan Davis, Senior Manager, Enterprise Risk, Regulatory Risk and Compliance. Ghana has only 150 weather stations of the required 600. We need one. We need 600. We only have 150.
We've been happy, like Brazilian weaves. When a weekdays filled with
also prosecute chiefs selling lands in waterways. Gamanche is saying on page 3 of the New Center newspaper.
Big note that relates. From 6 to 6 with stones and bricks, build a future risque, sharing stone and flicks. I barely no sleep. Give me some wavy. Boys are bread all week. Give me some wavy. Boys are living no be cheap. Give me some wavy. But thank God it's Friday.
Still, the New Center revises ability bill gets to cabinet after 20 years of advocacy.
But thank God it's Friday. Maybe Jimmy see. Bug on my Emre. Girls are bread, no be boys bread.
On page 4 of the paper, MCE residents and NADMO clash over wager flood warnings.
No be boys bread.
Conflicting claims have emerged between residents of Wejagbawe, the municipal chief executive, and the National Disaster Management Organization over whether adequate prior warning was given before the spillage of the Wager Dam that has submerged hundreds of homes and displaced residents in parts of the Greater Accra region.
Time moves slowest when you need
it. While affected residents and the Wejagbawe Municipal Assembly insist that they were not informed ahead of the spillage,
but be picky instead. 95
some residents say they were not informed.
NADMO
maintains that downstream communities had been warned weeks in advance, and evacuation arrangements had already been communicated before the release of excess water from the dam. The disagreement comes as floodwaters continue to inundate several low-lying communities around Wager following the opening of the spillway by the Ghana Water Limited after rising water levels in the dam. And if you join us on Facebook right now, you'll see some of the videos we're talking about. Homes in the Wager Enclave submerged. Yesterday, I saw a video of somebody dancing in the room. There was a mattress there. The water had got into a level. The person could only dance. Charlie, what are we doing again? The MC blames lack of notice for scale of flooding. The municipal chief executive for Wejagbawe, Felix Odate Lamte, strongly criticized what he described as the absence of timely communication from authorities.
All I want to say is I am feeling okay.
Oh, the video was saying is White Cross Sampa Valley. Oh, I see. You live around there?
Yes, not too far away. Fortunately, I'm not affected, but it's unfortunate. These houses are pretty close to the dam. Yeah.
The impact is so bad, and they go through this every year.
Yes.
And it is not just one person's responsibility. We can't say that, oh, NADMO. We can't say that, oh, assemblies. We can't say Ghana Water Limited. Is the responsibility cut across all of us?
Yes.
From those of us who have decided to build in those areas when we know that that's not an area for us to build, to the assembly that has given us permits to go and build there, to the water company that somehow, through no fault of theirs, will have to spill the dam to protect the integrity of the dam. But as you spill, don't you have a certain...
As they protect the dam, I mean, who protects their lives? And
exactly.
We shouldn't get to the point where we are asking who protect their lives. That's why prevention is always better.
We shouldn't get to choose either the dam or the lives.
Yes.
Not at all.
If it must be done, it must be done right.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate, but in the 90s, this community wasn't like that. It was a community that was well organized, had well laid out roads, a beautiful community. And urbanization and the reckless sale of lands in the community, by some persons purporting to be chiefs and landlords and so on and so forth, started selling land rampantly to everybody and anybody.
You see,
so the citizens also have a responsibility.
Yes, we do, of course,
because
we certainly do.
Why do you go and buy land that is directly sitting in a waterway, and then it goes to the assembly? You're asking, what is the assembly doing? Who authorized the erection of the building? How did he get a building permit?
And this building was not done in a night.
These buildings have been there for over 10 years, 15 years, year after year. They suffer and they still sit there. When the rains are nearing, they are sad because
it will happen.
It will happen. It's inevitable. But why should it be this way? Because imagine, I'm also well informed, credibly informed, that for the last 48 hours, the communities have been without electricity. And you can't blame ECG, because if there should be electricity, I mean, this is water in motion.
Yeah.
So it won't only affect your recklessness, which is even a life we have to protect as a state, but it might affect other people who are not even...
See, the responsibility goes very far. And what I'm seeing right now, I see electric poles there.
Yes.
And the process you have to go through in Ghana to get
an electric
pole.
Yes.
It means that ECG officials, they came there. And I'm sure they may have documentation to show that this place you're not supposed to build it because it is a low-lying land. It is a waterway, if you like. They would come, see the place, still give you the pool. It means they are solidifying your stay there.
Yes.
And then the dam will be spilled and we'll see the impact again. The system goes so far, and I'm sure people here are connected to Ghana Water Limited.
Yes.
Ghana Water Company. So they also came there.
They pay property rate.
Exactly. When they should not be there.
Yes. They pay property rate. So at the end of the day, you are asking yourself, how does government intend to solve this, if not for a demolition?
Or government has left them to
like NADMO, the NADMO official mentioned yesterday. He said, we've been here, we've been telling them year after year, and we are not responsible for these interventions. Unfortunately, when it escalates, then we have to show up and do these things. The best solution would be a demolition, but are we ready? Is the government ready to carry out a demolition exercise? These are.
Do they want to count the cost against them if they do?
These are over 200 homes. To say the least, just sitting along the dam and within close proximity to the dam. How are we going to demolish 200 homes? That's displacing over 200 families. And I think it would be a very unfortunate incident. But how does government intend to solve this? Probably in the next election, in the 2028 election, we have to start asking our fellow Ghanaian citizens to, when the MPs show up, ask them, how do they intend to solve these problems in your communities? Ask them.
So if you ask the MP and the MP says, I'll come in.
Yeah, then you sign a social contract with...
I think something to a certain extent must get. Because
I have no engineering background, but I don't see how this problem...
is impossible to solve.
It's impossible to solve.
Of course, it is.
Without demolition. Because... look, these houses are sitting 200 meters away from the dam. And unfortunately, the drainage system even within the community is questionable, because now we also have Chinese companies springing up in the community, putting up high-rising buildings, big buildings, and sitting on drainages and waterways and what have you. So how do we intend to solve this problem as a country? We cannot continue running around it every year waiting.
So every year, by the beginning of the year, NADMO says, hey, around May, June, I'll say a baby come away Jafon until the because will spill water from the dam. So we do this every year, and are we not tired? The monies that NADMO will spend, apart from NADMO, all the other agencies will spend to help to make life better for these affected residences. Can't we channel that energy into preventing it from happening in the first place?
Let me blow your mind, Crosby.
Please do.
So within the ledger of facts, there was something that caught my attention, and it says Greater Accra has over 5 million residents exposed to flood risk. Flood-exposed assets in Greater Accra are valued at approximately $3.2 billion. And the June 3rd, 2015 floods affected approximately 53,000 people. That June 3rd disaster caused approximately $55 million in damage and losses, and post-disaster reconstruction needed an estimated $105 million. Garrett received $200 million in initial World Banking finance, and Garrett later received an additional $150 million. In total, Garrett flood resistance financing amounts to $350 million, with garrett interventions targeting 2.5 million people. So we're looking at 3.2 billion US dollars flood exposed assets in Greater Accra alone.
I don't think we take our minds there. $3.2 billion.
Yes.
And all 13th African Games was what?
$3.2 billion. That's
But we find ourselves in a certain fix. If we don't spill the water, the dam will be stressed. The dam will spoil. The impact will be worse than we're seeing.
Yes.
If we release the water, this is the impact that we're seeing. If we don't do anything, the dam will spoil.
This will still happen, and it will be worse.
This will still happen. So,
yeah,
what do we do?
Year in, year out, we panel experts and politicians and what have you to discuss some of these issues. And as you can see, Greater Accra alone, I mean, assets exposed, we're looking at 3.2 billion US dollars. Where is Ghana going to find that money? You know, so at what point can our politicians be honest with us? Can they be transparent with us? Can they help us understand that, look, this is the crisis, this is where we are, this is how we intend to solve it, but this is how much it's going to cost us as a country. Are we ready? Where are we going to find the money? These are genuine conversations that need to be had. We're going to solve it within this time frame, but we're not hearing. It's always the rhetoric, you know, and some interventions here and there. Unfortunately, even when these interventions are taking place, you know, Kofi Brookman is also chopping his chop.
I think about bread and butter issues.
Exactly. So year after year, we table experts to have the same discussion, and nothing happens. It's 2026. President Mahama promised us a reset. I hope, but I'm of the firm belief that it will catch his attention and he does something more sustainably. It will be an awesome legacy to leave behind. Mr. President, good morning. And good morning to the Deputy Chief of Staff, Stanley Dogbe.
Stanley Dogbe, was he part of? He was part of a certain committee.
Yes, he was part of the committee. The committee seems to have started some work. But I don't know. I haven't seen any.
There's this conversation in the newsroom about how this committee, when there were no floods, took a helicopter, went up in the sky, and they said they were going to look at the flood-prone areas.
Yeah.
So they went into the sky, they saw them. They came back on the ground, nothing. Now the floods are happening, and we still don't hear from them.
Yes, I mean, onboarding a helicopter when there were no floods is would not sit well in the mind of many, but I won't dismiss that.
Maybe
because you need to also appreciate things from that perspective. And at the time, they had just been issued their mandate. I'm sure that the agencies, government agencies, have enough data, you know, to speak to the realities on the ground whilst they are up and above. But what is surprising is when the floods came, we haven't seen a helicopter flying high above Ghanaians looking for areas that are flood prone and affected by floods. And we'll be very happy, you know.
Join us on Facebook right now, and you see what we're talking about. This was
that's the Minister of Works and Housing.
Yes,
and that's Stanley, the Deputy Chief of Staff.
And this was when they were getting on board the Ghana Armed Forces helicopter to go and look at the thing. Join us on Facebook right now, 3FM927, 3FM927. And if you're joining us also on radio, listen to this story.
The president concerned about the perennial flooding situation that we face not only in Accra but across the country, we decided to set up a special task force to start work to at least try and reduce, if not prevent, flooding within particularly the Accra metropolis as we prepare for the rains. So there's been a task force that has started working, and today we decided to go on an aerial tour so that the military and the hydrology department of the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing can show us the various channels, and then where we have problems with drains that are silted that we need to work on. Our job is cut out is to find out where we have challenges, where do we have drains that are choked that we need to desilt, and then where we have channels where the rainwater flows into the sea where there are problems. We can see what engineering and mechanical problems, solutions we can find to it. So the next step is to go on a road recce, as General said, to visit some of the areas, and see what has to be done. From the air, yes, we saw the problem, but we need to go there and then work with the Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Local Government, and then the 48th Engineers Regiment to begin the process of desilting, the drains that have to be desilted. Some tough decisions would have to be made, especially with walls that have been, built, blocking, the water flow in many areas, and then buildings as well that have been, from the air you see it, clearly than when you are on the ground. And we would have to clear that, because if we don't, as is always said, you do not know when your area is going to be affected because somebody has built, some kilometers away from you. But it's not just going to be desilting. There's going to be a communications angle to this. We are going to engage in a lot of public advocacy, encouraging the citizenry to keep their surroundings clean, stop throwing, litter into the drains, and then also ensuring that the waste management companies that collect waste, how they also throw that waste away, because you notice that along Achimota, the storm drain coming towards Odo, there's a lot of rubbish along the drains, and we would have to stop that as well. So the Government Communications Office is going to support the task force with a communications action.
3FM Sunrise.
The voice of Standard with and you listened and you heard exactly what he said. Some tough decisions, tough actions will have to be taken. After the helicopter ride, he said that they were going to do some vehicle field work. Yes.
Some communities have mentioned they have seen quite a number of NADMO officers present. But I'm always asking why.
NADMO is after the event.
Yes, I'm always asking why
before.
But the before, my brother, the reality is that this is a problem that cannot be solved overnight.
True.
So we need a serious conversation about this. We should start treating this conversation like Galamsey.
Oh, yes, we should.
If we should, year after year, table experts and politicians to have the same conversation and nothing happens. I saw a newspaper from the 60s that was talking about Accra floods.
1960.
From the 60s. And we are in 2026 and we are still having the same conversation. It's important that we have this conversation from a national perspective. CSOs and what have you. Good morning, Franklin Codjoe. It's a personal appeal to Franklin Codjoe. Maybe Imani should champion and lead this conversation.
Oh, and this is what you were talking about, Kay.
Yeah.
This is the Daily Graphic, Monday, April 18, 1960.
Yes.
When the rains came to Accra.
Yes. And after that, the rains have been coming. They've been coming.
This thing did not start right now. It did not start right now. And there are pictures. You see the kind of cars there, clearly indicating this is an old something, 1960. Yes. The story is that the pictures tell the story of the day when the rains once again Okay, so this is once again. So it means that happened before the story. Once again came to Accra. Many streets and houses were completely flooded following a heavy downpour of rain in Accra on the weekend. At the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, traffic was held up for 2.5 hours. In the nearby houses, as seen in the left picture, women used buckets and pans to collect water from their flooded compounds. This is something we still see. In all 245 inches of rain. In all, 245 inches of rainfall was recorded. This is believed to be the heaviest rainfall in Accra for 1 year. And we see pictures in 1960 of women using buckets, using pans to collect water that has flooded their compounds. We're seeing taxis,
yeah, and other private vehicles as well.
Kwame Nkrumah Circle was mentioned, and it was also mentioned that traffic lasted for 2.5 hours as a result of the flood
in 1960.
1960.
Traffic
in 1960. How many cars did we have?
In 1960?
Maybe the road was not as it is right now.
Yes.
But Circle flooded in 1960.
And before 1960?
It was flooding. 2026. Circle is still flooding. Do we learn, do we go, or do we come? Or we just live? We are a country where we wake up and we are there. 30 years is a cycle story. Every year, media houses prepare Wellington boots, raincoats, umbrellas for reporters. When the rain starts go, you find a story. You would definitely find a story there. When the rains begin, you would definitely find people using pans to fetch water. And Frederick, if any of the stories that we've done the past couple of days is ready, we'll like to play it, and you see it very soon. Even when Accra was smaller, even when more open land and wetlands existed, even when fewer people lived downstream, things like this were happening. Even when the population of the country was not as much as we see right now, there were still floods. 30 years down the line, the same rains were still flooding. Is it that when it happened in 1960, we did not do anything about it? Or is it that we did not think into the future to look at the solutions we're providing for the problem we had in 1960 so that it will be able to contain it even if it increases? We'll go back to wager shortly, but my colleague Armstrong Gold Alogbe, in the rains, not wager, he was talking about flooding. The frontage of the Supreme Court flooded. Gimpa Road flooded. Wherever you pass, even around beside the Kanda, close to the Jubilee House curve in around TV3, that area, when it rains, it gets flooded.
The post office.
Post office gets flooded. Everywhere. Every year, people lose their lives. And you spoke about how much in monetary terms we lose to flooding when it happens. 1960 was happening, 2026. And who are we? to 1970s, occasional heavy rain floods, mostly seasonal river overflow. Large areas still wetlands or open land. Low population density. Minimal paved surfaces. Natural drainage paths were still intact, meaning that flood existed, but the city still had space to absorb water. If you want cook soup. 1980s to 1990s, early urban stress. This is what changed. Rapid urban growth begins. Expansion of Accra suburbs. Early drainage blockades appear. More frequent urban flooding after storms. Roads and markets begin to be affected. So it means that flooding shifted from being a natural problem to a city problem. And then 2000s, system failure begins. Massive expansion of informal settlements. Weak enforcement of building codes. Drainage systems not upgraded at the same pace. And this became the flood party. Regular flooding in low-lying communities. Traffic disruptions become common. Economic losses increase. And at that time, we know that flooding now has become predictable. It is not accidental again. Choked drains become a national issue. Rapid urban sprawl in floodplains. Now what are you going? June 3, 2015, flood disaster. Annual flood reality. There's a pattern. Flooding almost every major rainy season. Repeated hotspots. So flooding has a destination in Ghana. Kaneshi, Sekko, Odo Basin, Wager downstream zones. And these are the ones we know for now. If nothing changes, the next couple of years we'll get 4 more. Nothing without water. I know that as I speak, as you listen to me, you're mentioning other areas that flood all the time. The Dominic Christian Village area. Drainage overload, waste management failure, continued construction in waterways. So now flooding is normal. I don't even want to begin the conversation about climate change because when we invite that conversation to a certain extent, I believe that it will dilute the conversation. So in the 1960s, flooding was nature acting on the city. And in 2020s, flooding is the city reacting to itself. If you fail to plan, it means you plan to fail. That is exactly what we're doing. We were brought from Agbawe when he visited the place in relation to the spillage of the Wager Dam and the impact it is having on residents there. Listen to this and watch this if you can join us on Facebook. 3FM 927.
The ongoing spillage from the Wager water treatment plant has led to rising water levels across affected communities, destroying properties and displacing thousands of families. A visit to the area on Thursday saw residents hurriedly moving their belongings to nearby communities, while others sought temporary shelter with relatives and friends. Later, a delegation from the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, led by the Regional Minister, Linda Akwele Oklu, together with military personnel and NADMO officials, toured some of the flood-hit communities to assess the extent of damage and ongoing rescue operations. The Greater Accra Regional NADMO Director disclosed that at least 35 residents had already been evacuated and accommodated in temporary shelters set up by the organization.
The dam will still be open as far as we receive heavy rains from Insawam.
This dam is being fed by another dam in Sawam. So it means that as it's full now, it means that in Sawam is spilling at full capacity. So this one, they are controlling the spillage. Now they are operating above their maximum operation level, that is 47 feet. They are doing 42 as of today. And these are updates that we receive from Ghana Water on daily basis. And we communicate same to the communities, so they are aware.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Akwili-Oklu, appealed to residents to cooperate with emergency officials and relocate to safer areas to avoid casualties.
We are only pleading with them, like I said, they should agree to the evacuation, understand and evacuate. In fact, their life matters more than even everything. Sometimes they value their property than relocating, and so we'll plead with them that they should agree to it. I mean, this is a temporary arrangement we are doing. We'll bring them back when the place is okay.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Water Company says the controlled spillage of the Weja Dam will continue as long as water levels remain above operational capacity, raising concerns that more downstream communities could be affected in the coming days. Flooding in the catchment area in the Weja water treatment plant is not new. The Weja headworks sits on the Densu River, with the plant supplying about 80% of potable water to parts of Accra and its environs. Authorities have looked on while land within the dam's catchment area has been sold for residential development, threatening the safety and integrity of the dam. This attitude appears to permeate almost every aspect of national life in Ghana, and if nothing is done to address the trend, a future disaster could be far more devastating, leading to the loss of lives and properties. Joseph Armstrong.
3FM Sunrise.
If we don't take care, if we don't use it well,
If you're a child,
it becomes a bad 7. This is still Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Sports news, sports update is up next with Riku and Pofu. Riku, good morning. Senior, please join us. The Champions League final is tomorrow.
Yes. I just saw you.
Yeah, I just saw you. Okay, which team are you supporting?
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Oh. Then you don't need to ask.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
I'm a miracle. I can't Oh, Charlie. Because of owners, Arsenal people are talking to us anyhow. But like I mentioned, I hope that PSG, they give them a good beating. I hope PSG gives them a strong beating tomorrow.
I think it'll be closer. Arsenal are very motivated.
If we don't pray and Arsenal wins this champion,
for my French connect.
Yes. We don't pray against this thing and Arsenal wins this Champions League, we die finished. Yes. Hey, Team Forza.
Segment here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7 with me, Oreku Ampofo. We start off with some update from the Black Stars camp, where Lawrence Atizigi, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Abdul Momen, Kwesi Sibo, Jonas Ajete and Prince Kwabena Edu have joined the Black Star squad in Cardiff as preparations continue for the upcoming international friendly against Wales and then the FIFA World Cup. The 6 players arrived on Thursday and took part in the team training session at the Dragon Park in Cardiff ahead of the 2 assignments. The arrival increases the total number of players to camp to 22, following the 16 who have been training since Tuesday. Now we still stay with the Black Stars, where Benjamin Asare, who's the goalkeeper for the national team, has called for unity, trust and collective focus as the competition intensifies for places in Ghana's final squad for the 2026 World Cup. The Heart of Oak shotstopper has established himself as the first choice goalkeeper in recent months, but is currently battling 4 other goalkeepers in Lawrence Atizigi, Solomon Agbasi, Joseph Annan and Paul Reverson for one of the 3 available slots for the final month squad. Despite the pressure and uncertainty, Asare says that it's important to focus on the collective
style of tactical play, because as a coach be our meeting and as a keeper trainer be our meeting e be the keeper be betre on enye no na ono so ba betre but I say was a player no and as our mentality no the person achieve na say instruction be be ma no as ultimate keep on now make you best say the be coach no abana na keeper trainer no abana wetimi hu say oh yes you are more intelligent and the person we no betimi aye say na be ono so betimi anya gide wo obi a wo gide wo bia mu say the bakushem na bakutene che say timi bompa because team no win aye nyina na ye de ye win enu nchire say me number 1 na yes international na obi nchia make say o identity because ye person team no nya gide ana ye person Ghana for nya gide wo ye mu say na be abeti ma Ghana supporters na ma bia tina ye fine.
That was Benjamin Asare. Now let's do some more where Ghana Football Association President Kurt Okreku has outlined the strategic vision behind the association's intensified diaspora talent identification drive, explaining that Ghana Football must actively reach out to talented players across the world and create clear pathways for them to represent their country.
As a football association, it is our responsibility to go everywhere in the world to find the best talents and to offer such talents the opportunity to realize their dreams. So our responsibility is to find every talent wherever such talents will be and offer these talents a pathway to realize their dreams. But what we also know as a fact is that not many people know how to reach out to the Ghana Football Association. And there are many families who ordinarily will want their kids, boys or girls, to represent their mother, but they do not know how to reach out. There are also many families who have never been to Ghana and therefore do not even know how the country looks like or how we work in the football industry. And there are many others who think that doors are completely shut. Once you're born here in the United Kingdom, you cannot play for Ghana. These are some of the few reasons why we are here today. To offer all of us, all of you, the chance.
3FM 92.7.
I want to play for Ghana.
That was Ghana Football Association President Kurt Okreku speaking there. However, former Black Stars midfielder Michael Essien was also at the event and threw his support behind the association's growing diaspora talent identification program.
There's a lot has been said, and also, of course, I have to thank my mom here. She said a lot, and I mean, representing your country is a huge honor, and also it goes way way beyond that. And of course, my path was different because I was born and raised in Ghana. And we just have to, look after them, get them young if we can, and also they can represent their roots. And just a little advice: just keep working hard and reach out if you need, and we have all the support. So yeah.
Well, that was former Ghana midfielder Michael Essien speaking. Let's move on to some more stories where the MTN FA Cup is inching ever closer, and head coach of Dreams FC, that's Wilfred Drummond, has set aside on leading his club to glory as he prepares for Sunday's final against Nations FC.
Everything is so much. It's a testament of how this club is growing. It's also a testament to how we have been working over the years. And I am so much grateful to the club because, see,
3FM 92.7.
2025-2026 season is concerned. Dreams FC started the league on a very, very slow note, but during the second half of the season, the team has recorded a remarkable, achievement to place fourth, never in the history of this club. And to cap it off, we are in the finals of the historic FA Cup finals. It can only get bigger and better.
That was Dreams FC head coach Wilfred Drummond speaking ahead of the MTN FA Cup final between Dreams FC and then Nations FC on Sunday. Let's now turn our attention to women's football, where Black Queens forward Chantel Boy-Clocker says that she is aiming to score more goals for Ghana at the upcoming 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The Nottingham Forest attacker was part of the Black Queens squad that secured the third place finish at the previous edition of the tournament. Now firmly established within the team, Chantel believes she is ready to take on a bigger role.
For me, it's going to be my second tournament. I haven't been with the Queens for a long time. I think the last tournament I was quite new, quite fresh, just getting to know everyone. So now I'm a little bit more settled. So hopefully you'll see more of my personality, more of my qualities on the pitch, and hopefully more goals to help the team succeed. Yeah, definitely. I think the football's different to what I've been playing in England, but now I'm used to it. I'm used to the girls. I've made some good connections with the team as we're bonding as a team together. So yeah, I think this time around it's going to be much different. I think all of us players together will be much more comfortable with each other, and I think hopefully that can show on the pitch and you can see what we provide.
Let's head to Europe now, where the 2026 Ballon d'Or ceremony is set to make history after UEFA and France Football officially confirmed that the prestigious awards gala will be held in London on October 26, 2026. The event will mark the 70th anniversary of football's most iconic individual prize, and for the first time, the ceremony will take place outside its traditional home in Paris. Now to the UEFA Champions League final, where Arsenal skipper Martin Odegaard has emphasized that winning the Champions League is a lifelong dream that Arsenal's squad is aggressively pushing to make a reality. Ahead of the final against Paris Saint-Germain this weekend, the Arsenal captain highlighted the massive opportunity his side have to make history.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's one game, so yeah, 90 minutes away from that, so we have something incredible to play for again, and we've said that the whole season, Premier League, Champions League, the two big ones, we want to be there, so another dream that we can make a reality, so yeah, it's amazing to have that to look forward to with this energy, with this mood in the group, and to have a final to prepare for is, yeah, just so special, and everyone is just excited, and we want to play it straight away, so yeah.
That was Arsenal skipper Martin Odegaard speaking there. Meanwhile, former Crystal Palace manager Patrick Vieira also believes that Arsenal would surpass the Invincibles in achievement if they go on to win the Champions League.
92.7.
I think they will be the biggest achievement. Maybe not the biggest club, the biggest team, but the biggest achievement for sure, because winning the Premier League and the Champions League, we never managed to win the European competition, so it will be the biggest achievement for the Arsenal Football Club.
Now, before we go, let's do some tennis, where Yannick Sinner's dream of conquering Roland Garros came to a dramatic and heartbreaking end on Thursday after the world number one suffered a stunning 5-set collapse after Argentina's Juan Manuel Cherundolo in the second round of the French Open. In what will go down as one of the biggest shocks in recent Grand Slam history, Sinner lost 3-6, 2-6, 7-5, 6-1, 6-1 after appearing to cruise comfortably toward victory on court on Philippe Chartier. The Italian was leading by 2 sets and held a commanding 5-1 advantage. In the third set, needing just one more game to book his place in the next round, a defeat ends Sinner's impressive 30-match winning streak dating back to February and represents a major setback in the pursuit of a career Grand Slam. Remember that the Roland Garros remains the only major title missing from the Italians' growing collection. Remember that for more sports updates, you can check our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Ore Kwampofo, and Sunrise continues right after this.
Enjoy homemade taste of Shito, always with Didi Shito. Made with carefully selected ingredients, no preservatives, no colorants.
Preservative just helps us spice. How we taste, spicy we eat.
Didi Shito, if you do need. This advert is FDA approved.
In an era where the business environment is constantly changing, the need for accounting and finance professionals who can guide and lead organizations to sustainable success is critical. The good news is, CIMA's CGMA designation, held by over 150,000 professionals globally, delivers the skills, competencies, and mindsets that employers require. Learn more about the CGMA designation at www.aicpa-cima.com or email accra@aicpa-cima.com.
Come, let's go to the market. We have to buy everything for you before you go to SHS.
Mommy, please, all that stress, going around the market and carrying heavy things. Oh, my friends will see me sweating like this. They have already registered for their EduPack. I don't want to be left out.
Registered for EduPack?
Yes, EduPack, a Ghana Education Service approved and supported initiative for all first years going to SHS by Prospectus Ghana Limited. Now you don't need to go to the market. All the trunk, mattress, pillow, and plastic chop box are already waiting for your child at school.
Daddy, so what do we do?
We shall register you by dialing *713*821# following the prompts. Or you can visit www.edupackgh.com and tap register. You can also register at any ADB branch near you at a very affordable price. EduPack, approved and supported by GES.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleanse for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
That's clean soap. Clean.
Register now for the second edition of the Ghana AI Summit from the 29th to the 30th of July 2026 in Accra, Ghana. Theme: Artificial Intelligence for Economic Growth and Job Creation, Innovation, Inclusion, and Future Jobs. Incorporating Ghana National AI Challenge and Ghana AI Awards 2026. Join policymakers, industry leaders, startups, researchers, and global experts to explore how AI can accelerate development, boost productivity, and create sustainable jobs. This is more than a summit. It's a platform for collaboration, innovation, and real impact. Visit the Ghana AI Summit and awards at GhanaAISummit.com to participate and empower yourself with AI skills and knowledge. Ghana AI Summit 2026 is organized by Knowledge Innovation in partnership with Deloitte and Media General. Call 0242 555135 for more details. Sponsor Hisense.
Enjoy homemade taste of Shito, always with Didi Shito. Made with carefully selected ingredients, no preservatives, no colorants.
Preservative just helps us spice. That's how we taste. Spicy we eat.
Didi Shito, if you do need. This advert is FDA approved.
3FM Sunrise.
Sunrise on 3FM.
Get on, Dre.
in Ghana. Malta Guinness is not just a soft drink, but a quality refreshment boosted with B vitamins. Charge forward towards your goals with each sip of its nourishing natural goodness. Now selling at a cool 12 cities. Vim up your daily pursuit with the revitalizing taste of Malta Guinness, packed with B vitamins. It's time to make that move. It's time for a cold Malta Guinness. Remember to always look out for the proudly made in Ghana symbol on every bottle or can of Malta Guinness. Malta Guinness, we move. I'm choosing over imported ones, choosing made in Ghana over imported ones, protecting local businesses, creating and saving jobs, supporting Ghanaian industry, boosting economic growth and showing national pride. The advantages of using or buying made in Ghana products like Malta Guinness. It is made in Ghana by Ghanaians for Ghanaians. Malta Guinness made in Ghana. Lower your sugar, brewed for the Ghanaian taste buds. Has a taste suitable for Ghanaian taste buds. Comes in sleek can. Has the proudly made in Ghana symbol on the pack. It has the premium badge on the label as well. You and I together, so we go together. See me pose, now to the Money Summit 2026. The Business and Financial Times, in partnership with EcoBank Ghana, proudly presents the 6th edition of the Money Summit 2026, Ghana's premier financial leadership and policy dialogue platform, bringing together regulators, financial institutions, investors, development partners, policymakers, and private sector leaders to discuss practical solutions for strengthening Ghana's financial ecosystem and economic future. This year's summit is under the theme, Building Trust, Capital and Stability for Ghana's economic future. And the summit is scheduled as follows. It is happening on Tuesday, the 2nd of June 2026. The venue is the Palms by Eagles, formerly Holiday Inn Hotel, and the time is 9 o'clock a.m. prompt. The Money Summit 2026 will feature high-level discussions on financial stability and systemic resilience, mobilizing long-term capital for growth and enterprise, commodity-backed financing and economic transformation, deepening financial inclusion, rural banking, digital innovation and trust in financial systems, SME financing and investment opportunities as well. And the summit will convene senior representatives from the Bank of Ghana, Securities and Exchange Commission Ghana, Ghana Stock Exchange, ARB Apex Bank, commercial banks, pension and insurance institutions, fintech companies, development finance institutions, of course there'll be academia there, investors, leading private sector organizations. The 6th edition of the Money Summit 2026 is organized by Business and Financial Times with support from Fidelity Bank and partners committed to advancing Ghana's financial and economic transformation agenda. And the media partners include Asasi Radio, CTFM, 3FM, there's TV3, Happy FM, and many more. For sponsorship, exhibition, or partnership opportunities, or delegate registration, kindly contact 020-9457-427, 020-9457-427, or follow at BFT Ghana across all social media platforms for updates and event information. Attendance is strictly by invitation, and interested participants and institutions may contact the organizers for registration and participation details. Finally, this morning, before we get into a big conversation, attention all parents of first-year SHS boarding students, EduPac, the Ghana Education Service, approved and supported national SHS initiative implemented by Prospectus Ghana. It is now in progress across Ghana. Parents across the country are already registering so that their children's trunk, Macintosh mattress and pillow and plastic chop box will be ready and waiting at their school before reporting day. Do not delay and be caught in the usual last-minute market rush, carrying heavy items under pressure. With EduPac, your child does not need to travel to school with these 4 items: To register, simply dial *713*821#. Visit any ADB branch or go to www.edupark.com, eduparkgh.com. Make payments, keep your receipt, and present it on the opening day to collect your items. Your EduPark registration follows you to any SHS you are placed. Avoid the stress, avoid the rush, prepare with confidence, and all at very affordable price. EduPark approved and supported by the GEF. For more information, call 0500600607. EduPark, no stress, no wahala.
3FM Sunrise.
It don't cost total confusion. They for arrest you for this kind of seduction. Where you do this shit? Shana Turkey, Ghana, Dubai, or London. Oh baby, oh baby. You go benefit if you be my lady. I am good to go, baby, if you're ready. Oh baby, if you're ready. I go carry it your play. You go misbehave like Polo. I go dance for you like Poco. I'ma do. I go carry it your play. You go misbehave like Polo.
Sunday get critical. The pressure they over minimal. And they feel cynical. She no be me be principal. See, I don't ask, I don't trace. Make we they move to the end of the place. I don't ask, I don't trace. Make we they move to the end of the place.
Let's turn our attention to something very important and very close to home, because every time the rains intensify and water levels begin to rise around the Wager Dam area, the conversation comes back again. And this conversation, it is never an easy one. We're talking about the Wager Dam dilemma and communities downstream. On one hand, you have the need to protect critical infrastructure, like the dam itself, because if there is any failure or mismanagement at that level, the consequences could be widespread and very serious. And on the other hand, you have communities living downstream, families, homes, livelihoods, people who often find themselves in a very difficult position when the controlled releases, the warnings or the emergency measures are taken. And that is where the tension is sitting. Because this is not just an engineering issue. Yes, it is an engineering issue, but it is way beyond an engineering issue. It's not just about the water levels or the safety valves. It's not only technical. It is also about human safety. It is about planning, decisions, settlement patterns, and how prepared we are for extreme weather events that are becoming more frequent. So this morning, we're asking a very direct but difficult question. Should Ghana prioritize human safety, or should we prioritize the protection of infrastructure like the Wager Dam when the pressure builds? Why can't we do both? As we explore this subject this morning, we'll look at several angles, okay? Including the preparedness and early warning systems of affected communities. We'll venture into urban planning and encroachment issues around the dam area, the growing impact of climate change and extreme rainfall, and whether lessons from past flooding incidents have actually translated into real long-term solutions. There's also the economic side of things, what it costs to prevent flooding versus what it costs when the disaster actually happens, and whether our approach is still reactive instead of being preventive. And most certainly, we'll be joined by the voices who bring different but important perspectives, from political communication to governance to security risk analysis. Also from the legislative thinking as well, the constituency level, where these decisions directly affect people on the ground. So Again, this morning, it's not only a technical debate that we're going to have or a technical discussion that we're going to have. It's a real-life conversation about risk, responsibility, and balance between protecting infrastructure, protecting lives, and property. Codjoe will first speak to me about the data, what we're calling the ledger of facts. Okay, what do you have?
Yes, good morning. And to go into the ledger of facts before the big conversation, I think it would be good to ask the big question. How much should Ghana spend preventing floods before the next spillage costs more than the prevention itself? So we'll be looking at the Wager Dam dilemma, and our key areas would be water security, human safety, infrastructure, climate, and accountability. So we'll start with water supply. 80% of Accra's potable water comes from the Wager Dam.
So it means it is a critical infrastructure.
Yes.
Very important. It is, we're not only talking about the Wager Enclave.
Yes.
Accra generally.
80%.
80% of the potable water we have in Accra is coming from the Wager Dam. Okay.
Yes. But it's important to understand that the dam was built between 1974 and 1978.
Okay.
And if we look at the safety limit of the dam, that's 48 feet. That's the maximum operational safety level.
So this means that the water capacity in the dam should be 48 feet maximum.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have the spillage threshold as well, which is 44 to 45 feet, level at which preventive spillage usually begins.
So if the water level reaches 44 to 45 feet, it means that we have to start spilling so that we don't reach even the maximum operational safety level. We don't cross 46, 47 and get to 48, because at that point it will be dangerous. And how do we get to the 44, 45? The rains?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually the rains. And we look at the most recent the most recent full spillage event, which was yesterday, 28th May 2026, with water levels exceeding 48 feet.
So yesterday's water level was more than 48 feet, was more than the maximum operational safety level.
Yes.
That's dangerous.
Yes, and then we look at the rapid water rise. That's 46.2 to 48.1 feet. And the increase recorded within 24 hours in March 2021.
Okay.
And then we look at the flood impact zone. We have 14 out of 18 electoral areas affected in Wejagbawe in 2022 alone.
Okay.
And the people directly affected are residents impacted by the floods. As of 2022, it's about 2,000 residents. And then displaced persons accounting for about 1,500 or over 1,500 people targeted for NADMO relief support. Flood fatalities recorded in 2022, which was, I think, one of the most gruesome flood experiences within the enclave. Officially recorded one death.
Okay.
And people at risk, we are looking at Greater Accra residents exposed to flood risk. We are looking at 5 million Guineans or residents. Assets at risk amount to $3.2 billion US. That's the estimated flood exposed assets in Greater Accra alone. If you quite remember the June 3rd disaster, it affected 53,000 people in 2015. And the economic damage was $55 million US estimated damage and losses from the June 3rd disaster. Flood resilience funding amounted to $350 million US, total World Bank guaranteed financing, and reservoir shrinkage, which is 48% reduction, decline in Wager Reservoir surface area recorded by 2024 satellite analysis. It's important to note that the source of this data is Ghana Water Limited, Ministry of Water Resources, NADMO, GNA, Wejagbawe, And then we have the flood data as well. We also have the financing data from World Bank, current project reports, public investment documents, and then the environmental data and administrative data from the University of Ghana, Ghana Water Limited, Government of Ghana records and media reports.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for laying the foundation nicely for the conversation. And I'd like to introduce Emmanuel Koting. He is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Security and Counterterrorism. Mr. Koting, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you, sir?
God has been so merciful as always. And very good morning to yourself and the hard-working production team. The people behind what
Frederick Kunzoti and collective
they say.
Dr. Thomas Anaba, Member of Parliament for Garu. Doc, good morning and thank you for coming.
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers, listeners.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Great.
Good morning to my co-panelists and your production team as well.
Great.
I greet the good people of Garu. Belated Barakada Salah. I wasn't around in Ghana. So let me use this opportunity to wish them a Barakada Salah.
So you did not get the Salah meet now?
I'm told my chief imam has a piece waiting for me. So when I get to Garu, I'll get my piece. Yes.
Remember me when you get your
I'll do that. I'll package it very well.
A piece of your meat.
Yes.
a piece of your meat.
Yes. Thank you.
Very important.
Right.
But I'd like to start with you, Dr. Naba. You are a member of Parliament. Because when we talk about the Wager Dam situation, it is easy for the conversation to sound very technical, to stay technical, water levels like we've gone through. But on the ground, we see the videos, we see the pictures about families, homes, and the entire community. The communities that feel the impact directly when these decisions have to be made in the interest of all of us. So, because one of the infrastructure concerns, one of the frustrations people express is that we seem to return to the same flooding conversations every year. So from your perspective, Doc, is this a planning issue, an enforcement issue, or both? Or you can introduce other elements if you have.
Yeah, I think this wager issue, ever since I knew Accra, I've been hearing of flooding virtually every year, or challenges with spillages and then the rest. And it keeps occurring. I have not seen any deliberate plan to ensure that planning is well done to prevent annual repeated flooding. I've not heard of planned spillages, spillovers, whereby they would start spilling off the water, meaning that there is no proper coordination between those who can project the amount of water that should fall into the place. And we also have one major problem that I think that until we solve it, I look at it as the main cause of the people who are being affected. Our land tenure issue here, to me, is a big challenge. If you have the land and we don't plan what to do with each portion of the land, like in developed countries, you can't just get up and go and build anywhere because a chief has given you a land. There are places that they allow you to build industrial, let me say, infrastructure.
Right.
There are places they allow you to build for habitation, and there are places they allow you to allow it fallow because they want to conserve nature. The Wager Dam area, to me, appears to be a place we should conserve as a national strategic area and to conserve nature.
But you go there right now, and 200 meters away from the dam, there are homes.
That is why I'm talking. When they were building this dam in the 1970s, Accra was not that big.
Sure.
So naturally, at least, it was not going to affect anybody, even if it rained hell. But I know in Accra started flooding even in the 1960s.
Yes. We just went through it this morning.
Yes, but the Wager area is a place that we've demarcated to store water for 80% of the population of the whole of Accra, including Wager itself. Why don't we hold it and consider it as a national security asset there should be what we call a no-go area.
I
think I think the security aspects are here. A buffer zone to ensure that even if those who are prognosing the amount of water that should fall make an error, even with that, it shouldn't flood people's homes. Even if the rain falls abruptly, within 1 hour, the level goes above the maximum and they start spilling. The spillway should be free for the water to go without flooding. How can we sit down and we allow all these things to go past us? Then when it rains and they start spilling, people's houses are drowned. To me, what surprises me is those who are building around the spillway where the water is supposed to pass. Who gave them the authority to go and build there?
Because they can't build by themselves.
They can't build by themselves unless somebody gives them the land. So the main problem is lack of coordination between perhaps the assemblies and then the local traditional rulers who own the land and give them out, and also recalcitrant people who build anywhere because they think in Accra, inside Accra here, there are wetlands that have been destroying the natural habitat. Meanwhile, climate change is looking at us, is staring at us in our eyes. Real. And we know that a sudden rainfall of even 1 hour can raise the water levels in Accra very high. And now you have gone to block the wetlands where the residual water must flow past to save the city. So it is a combination of multiple factors that I think that land engineers, district assemblies, the government, traditional rulers must take a decision, and the security agencies just say that, look, we are demarcating here, this place, from this place to this place, no building. Anytime there's a building coming, we must have an institution like what we have ISIS in the US, who do not take orders from the police, not from anybody, but they are just there to ensure that national priority projects are executed.
Without influence.
Without anybody, without a politician influencing, without a chief influencing, without the local assembly influence. Once they just come in to see that, look, this is against the national security interests. Because flooding people's houses is affecting our pairs. Really because they have to send relief items to people who have refused or who went to build at a place that they shouldn't build, knowingly or unknowingly. By somebody who wants to give them the land and take something, or they think that they have money, they can just go and build at a place that it is they think that is their grandfathers who own the place or whatever. But there must be a proper plan. We must designate certain areas in this country, like the Wager area, as a national security zone, that no one enters there. The military can even use it for training and all those things. What does it build? Plant trees and turn it to like they have for the jungle, for them to even the Navy can use the area to do whatever they want.
At the moment, as we speak, there are houses there. It's a residential area. So maybe I invite Mr. Coating into the conversation. Mr. Coating, so at what point does it leave a conversation about environmental safety into public concern, public safety?
Well, thank you once again, and let me use the opportunity to greet my colleagues, panelists, and to the good people of Sabuba, especially the Muslim community. I pray that God will show mercy on us, and let's reflect, use this opportunity to heal, reconcile, and bring forgiveness. I think as a country, we are so fortunate to have a very huge resources in diversity. The way the religious class have been able to intertwine and bring peace to the country. I think as Ghanaians, we should be proud of that. And I think many other African countries are looking at our model. So it's something we must protect jealously. And to your question, I like the way you modeled the question this morning. But let me be clear, the spillage itself is a human safety measure.
True.
And I think that the debate should not be about people and concrete, not at all. If you look at the year this dam was built, just like my senior brother mentioned, as a country, we had a policy choice because a disaster is a one-off flooding where it takes you by surprise. But when you have flooding that recurs every season, it's a policy choice.
It's not accidental.
It's not accidental. And you see, in other jurisdictions, if you look at how they keep these national assets, in our part of the world, we don't do the same. Wager Dam sit at the upstream of Ayinsu River.
Yes.
And if you look at the mouth of the Ayinsu River, it's not even dredged. So water is not able to even flow quickly. And when some of these things happen, when we are going to the rainy season, how we do our disaster preparedness is also a challenge. All these areas should have been drenched, given that already we have allowed people to settle around the place. And because of political expediency, removing them will create more problems than we will be talking about. But the normal thing is that as a country, we should have had a flood authority who foresee this critical national infrastructure, because it supplies 80% of Accra potable drinking water. And this is not an infrastructure we should joke around with. So I think that it's a policy choice with us as a country. Where I got so alarmed was the counter accusation between Ghana Water, NADMO, and the citizens, especially on the level of warning they gave them to evacuate, and they were not leaving. But let's ask ourselves, if you ask people to evacuate, where are you sending them to? Evacuation is not the same as resettlement. Look at what happened in Chicago. You were in the US when that gas leak happened.
Yeah, right.
And it was within 50 meters radius. They asked them to evacuate, and they gave them places to settle. When the situation was arrested, they asked them to what? To return. How is it that in our case, you just ask people to evacuate? They should evacuate and go where?
But Senior, let me just...
To evacuate and go where? I am talking about policy. I'm talking about policy as a country.
I want clarification from you.
Yes.
Comparing it with the US.
Yes.
Probably they had their permits to build over there. Here you've illegally acquired it through a certain means, and you are there. You still want a place to be evacuated. When you do not benefit from a wrongdoing.
If you listen to me carefully, I said this illegal settlement came up as a result of political expediency. And that's the culture we as a country we have. So evacuating them becomes a political issue.
True.
So they allow it to fester. Now, the Ghana Water Authority had two options, two devils to choose from. Whether to spill, where a lesser community will be affected, or to have to allow the whole dam to explode, where 80% of Ghanaians will not in Accra will not have potable water to drink. So in the nutshell, we are talking about the same thing. So what government need to do as a matter of agency is to look at how they can set up a wager dam floodplain authority to oversee and manage this critical national infrastructure and do evacuation. And when you are doing evacuation, you have created a problem by allowing these people to settle.
Okay.
Apparently, we have district assemblies that have responsibilities in these catchment areas, but they sleep on their jobs and the people encroach. So when you are resettling them, when you are asking them to evacuate, you need to resettle them and give them decent resettlement scheme.
It brings me to my next question.
Yes.
Talking about the Wager Dam Authority.
Yes.
The spillage authority that you just mentioned.
Yes.
But already there are assemblies there that are working. The Ghana Water Company is the Ghana Water Limited is there already. There is Water Resources Commission, Hydrological Services Department, NADMO is there already, EPA. We've mentioned the Assembly, Ministry of Works and Housing. So there are various agencies, various institutions already in place that have in their mandate to look at these things. So why then do we still need to create something else for this particular problem? Does it not mean that some or all or one of these is not doing what it is supposed to?
This is a very beautiful question. And let me use this analogy to answer it. Dr. Anaba, it's like you have 4 or 10 wise men in a canoe. Everybody believes that A will do this, B will do this. And meanwhile, water is flowing into the canoe. What happens? Everybody sinks. Because we don't have a dedicated authority to be in charge of that floodplain, that is why we are having what we are having. NADMO is sitting down thinking that the assembly is directly under it is taking certain actions, and they are not doing it. So that is the challenge. We need an authority. And this authority's sole mandate is to make sure that, one, after government does evacuation and resettlement of these settlers, they do a buffer zone around this critical national security infrastructure. Then after that, like my brother indicated, we can even plant trees. Look, you know the new baseline ahead of us, heavy rainfalls. So we could even use this as a climate adaptation scheme.
Yeah, exactly.
And we could get even funding overseas to, I don't understand. Look, in this country, politics is really not helping us.
Talking about politics.
It's not. Because, look, people have written a lot.
A few negatives, though. But
have given this kind of proposals. Yeah. But because of political expediency, they will implement it.
If you go to the various universities, you can't count the number of research proposals.
Thesis, yes.
Students have written as solutions to this crisis.
Even don't go far. Look at our NADMO or our disaster response system. We have a response system that reacts. It doesn't prepare. What kind of system can that be? That system is never fit for people. And look at the flooding we are having in Greater Accra region, the Ramses sites and those things. People, I even understand even in Wager, demolitions were done last year. They have gone back and buildings are springing up. And people are sitting down drawing salaries that they are DCs and whatever. And I even understand one MP went to a locality and the chief challenged him that you yourself have a piece of land here that has been reclaimed. As I'm sure you saw the videos. So it's a joke. So it's just a complete joke.
Aaron, good morning to you. I mean, you've already spoken, but Aaron, I see you do entry as a MPP communications team member. He's joining us also for the conversation. Aaron, we're talking about this disturbing trend, and already Mr. Coating has suggested the need of a specific agency and authority to deal with this. Their mandate is solely to handle the wager floods. But I was saying that there are over 9 agencies already in the country that have a certain level of responsibility to ensure that this does not happen. I don't know whether you think that we still need to create something like that to be solely focused. Maybe when the attention is only on that, maybe they'll deliver. Or maybe it will just be another layer of bureaucracy, another duplication of activities. What do you think?
So, good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners and to my senior panel members. Let me start with Mr. Coating. K-O-T-I-N. Okay, Coating. I've been watching you, and in fact, I used to identify you with your name.
The white in the beard.
It's very, very intelligent, and today is no exception.
Thank you so
actually
much.
Dissected
I'm humbled.
For Honorable, I'm with him in Parliament. Very fine gentleman. I never knew that today would be an opportunity for us to have a conversation. My brother, if you listen to the conversation from Honorable, from Mr. Coating, you get it clearly that there is no need for anyone to do politics when it comes to human lives.
Yes, true.
When human lives are at stake, if you do politics, then you should be checking your mind in this country. We need to take you to the psychiatric to be dealing with certain issues. You see, I want to empathize with fellow humans going through these processes, whether it is by their doing or by somebody sleeping on his job or by somebody aiding and abetting an illegal permit for the person to build there. Maybe I go and rent over there. I didn't build.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a space to sleep, and I go get a room over there, and unfortunately,
you become an innocent victim.
Good. Just as Mr. Cotin said, your initial topic before the question you are bringing to me, I wish it was not there. We should not compare human life with concrete at any point in time. As government, as any individual, it is a responsibility of government to protect human lives and critical national infrastructure.
That's true.
But you see, as Honorable rightly put it, I'm just referring to their conversations or their statements they earlier made, because they have actually covered a lot of the frontiers of the conversation. My brother, the Weja Dam is a critical national infrastructure, supplying water to 80% of Accra's population. Clearly, you get to know that it cannot hold unlimited water. Certainly, you must spell it. And as Mr. Cotin said, you have a choice between two evils, whether to spell it or to deny the 80%. Imagine 80% of Accra, we do not have potable water. Can you imagine what will happen in this country?
And that will not be the only impact. The other impact too is that the flooding will be worse than we're seeing.
But my brother, in as much as we are protecting human lives, we should also strive to protect critical national infrastructure. Just as my Mr. Cotin suggested that we need a Weja Dam spillage and plain authority. I think we can pause for now and ask for accountability. Mr. Cotin, it is becoming unbecoming, as you rightly put it, that it is now a policy choice that if it happens once, we can say that, oh, this is a disaster. We just deal with it and we move ahead. But when it's becoming perennial and as if we celebrate an anniversary of flooding every year.
This morning we were saying that, so by the beginning of the year, NADMO officials will say that, oh, let's put this money aside and buy this and this, because
it will
around
happen.
May, June,
it will happen.
Go to Weja.
It will happen. You get it.
Instead of let's prevent it.
Yeah.
You see, I believe the conversation should depart from dealing with the politics and the theatrics around it and hold people accountable. Say, if we go and set up another organization like the Weja Dam, imagine what if persons who work there also sleep on their job, then we'll be creating another authority again. We have this conversation, and you and I know that it is a certain municipal engineer who will be giving building permit. So I mostly look at the Ramsar site demolition mostly as a certain movie that is being played to me. This is a municipal engineer leading the demolition who has already granted people permit over there. Yeah. And he's just coming to tell the whole country that I'm coming to work now and I've brought NADMO and I've brought military men and others. You cannot benefit from your wrong. We must hold them accountable. Yeah. When you read the NADMO Act, they have preventive duties.
Yes.
Yeah. We shouldn't run away from that. Yeah. They have preventive duties. Honorable, you are in Parliament. When you are debating on their budget, speak to them on their preventive duties. Yeah. They will go and buy mattresses and put it down, waiting for a disaster
to happen.
You budget for those budgets, but you are not budgeting for the preventive aspect of it.
Yeah.
We should depoliticize this completely. I was happy last year, I think around 12th of March or April 2025, when the president set out a committee headed by the Deputy Chief of Staff. Conversation comes, what did the NPP do in the past 8 years? Then I also asked, did Ghana even start in 2017? Whatever thing we did, didn't yield any result. Let's not run away from it. And so we should call on government. We have something we call failing forward. This is the time we must take that heavy decision and a bold one to crack the whip. Those who are built in the waterway, my brother, if one person dies, maybe the person is the breadwinner. I live around Domi, and from Domi connecting to Christian Village, there is this bridge over there. It mostly gets flooded and the road is blocked. Last week, I was just looking at a gentleman riding an Okada, and he said he's a delivery person. The road is blocked due to flood, and the guy was trying to force his way throughout.
We saw the video.
Yes, and he was just whisked by the water, and some gentlemen boldly were able to save him. He was there. He sat on the floor whilst he's being saved and his motor is going away. He was crying for the motor. I just looked at him and I said, Charlie, this is poverty. Because the guy does not even value his life. This is poverty. And it was so sad.
And we like to take such risks because the prevention aspect of it is not there.
I'm telling you.
They are not educated upon some of these dangers. You see water clearly running across the road, and you feel you have a stronger car. You want to test the facility of your car. Water can sweep any car away. Even trucks easily away. The current of water. I'm not a scientist, but you know.
Seniors,
yeah.
Your platform, media, your work is clearly defined in 3 parts: educate, inform, entertain. I believe that this is the time you must call on government. You must call on every stakeholder.
Yes.
Every stakeholder. Let's not politicize this. This is human life. Now. If tomorrow the people around Wager decides to prevent those who will be spilling, I will not get water to drink. It will affect me. It will affect my life.
Yes.
I may not be able to purchase the bottled water and all those things. We are begging them. We are begging the government. This is not politics that it is during their time. No, we should go far from that and call on them. Human lives are at stake.
So, at the core of the conversation is responsibility, if you like. And Dr. Naba, if we're talking about responsibility, and Entry spoke nicely about assemblies giving licenses when they should not give the licenses. Town and country planning, weak enforcement on layouts.
Right.
When you go to these communities, this morning we're talking about the fact that these are buildings that have connections to water. Right. So Ghana Water has come to construct pipelines. ECG has come to build poles there. These people pay property rates.
Yes. And the feeder roads have done
linking them. So if we're talking about responsibility, who is taking them all? Are we sharing? Who should be responsible for anything?
What you have just explained is a collective failure.
True.
People are sleeping on their jobs, and we have not really demarcated the territory for this dam. As I was saying, if we have a very good demarcation of where is the limit you can construct or you can utilize this land.
I'm sure that official documents will say that because of this dam, don't come maybe beyond 500 meters.
They don't say it. There must be something to let people understand that this is the limit.
Okay, so
put some specific pillars.
If the land is not available, you won't go and build there.
You won't go and build there. So you put some demarcation indicators to let everybody understand that at this point you can't go forward. Even if you don't have the dam authority like my brother is suggesting, and the law enforcement agencies come and they've seen that you have moved a meter beyond the demarcated area, they don't even ask you any question. Just pull it down.
But do we have the political will to do it?
What is political will vis-a-vis 80% of Accra not having water? Or 1,000 people every year getting what? Flooded, getting their homes destroyed, and we are spending over $30-something million to rescue all these people. What every year? Look at the amount they have mentioned to rescue people. It's too much. So let's use the little money, 1 year's money of rescue to demarcate. Let's use that money. If NADMO is going to use 100 million this year to save wager people, let's use that 100 million. Demarcate, demolish all the houses there. Because if you do it and the people see the benefit, the people of Accra see the benefit, anybody who wants to raise a political question there, or wants to use it to play politics, the citizenry would come after him. And there's one example I'll show you. The expansion of the Ashama Road to Afenya.
Okay.
You know, they couldn't do it. The contractor couldn't do it. Because people had built their kiosks, built their houses, and encroached on the road that was earmarked for expansion. They were not moving. The national security had to go in early in the morning. People were crying, making noise. Today, now that it's open and it's cleared and they are building the road, people are applauding. So the initial impact and criticism will definitely come. But when we see the need for it, and that what we are going to use is more useful than what it was being used for, people come back to understand it. If we demolish those houses and we say that, okay, somebody wants to rear some animal rearing, we're going to give you a space to build like a cattle ranch, build a goat ranch or something. Anybody bring in animals, come and store them there, and then pay a fee, and they have a place to graze. No one can build there. If it's going to flood, if they are animals, if it's going to flood, you can move them to a higher place that they can identify for them. It becomes like a ranch. That's why I'm saying let's use it for a particular purpose that is useful for us. So that when there's flooding, the flood can come and go. After that, we can still use it for something meaningful. They can build any type of tree there. They can plant types of tree there that are commercial for us to be used in future. So to me, I think there is a collective failure, like everybody here is talking, that everybody is failing. But the best thing we can do to prevent all this is demarcation. If we have to plant pillars every 10 meters, we have a pillar to indicate that you can't go beyond this. Let's do it. And after that, if the military, the police, the district assembly comes to see anybody trying to go in 1 meter of those pillars to do anything, what is wrong? They deal with the person without any pre-announcement to let him understand that, oh, we are coming to demolish your house. I come and see anything 1 meter beyond it. We are demolishing it. If we start doing that, I think in the next 10 years, we will not have these stories. I know it can happen today, but in the next 5-10 years, we will not have these stories.
Mr. Koting, what Doc is saying sounds very possible. But if we take it off the paper into the reality, if you are a member of parliament for the area, you go to the place, and because this flooding situation affects them, they'll tell you that, Honorable, Afibia is you and then you, the MP, you know that this person talking to me has a house on a waterway, and then you tell the person that maybe you say, baby, I'll tell you what is your crime. It's about be bold down.
This question should have gone to Honorable.
Oh, we'll come there. Yeah. Imagine a member of parliament or somebody who wants to become a member of parliament taking a decision like this. And I'm still talking about the political will. Because I think that without it will be very difficult to take any decision, to even ensure that the assemblies are taking the right decisions, to ensure that the police, the military are not being compromised. We hear stories about some already Galamsey task force members being compromised here and there. These stories come up all the time. Will we ever have the political will? Because it will have consequences. We know that, hold on for me, we know that the NPP and the NDC, they both have their own data on how the fight against Galamsey affected votes in certain areas. Yeah. How then do we do it?
Well, do you want the honest answer?
Please be honest with us.
The honest answer is this. Who is the MC for the area? He represents who? The President of the Republic. How do those illegal structures spring up? Somebody apparently slept on his or her job. That make government complicit. And it now become a social issue. Honorable Ahmed, in fact, a good friend of mine, he did his national service in Sabuba. He was the PE teacher for Sabuba EP Secondary School. In fact, I really pity him. And I was happy the way he approached the issue. He said, look, this is not politics. This is a social issue. The flooding does not discriminate who is NPP, who is NDC. So he's calling on the government. I think that we must just stop the blame game and take the bull by the horns. And look at how we can resettle these people around the dam and create a buffer. And like the authority I'm mentioning, we put it in place with strict guidelines. And since it's a national security asset, there should be rules and regulations and auditing around it every now and then. And that such authority should have a direct link with the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, such that even before permits are issued around those areas, it shouldn't be one single person who signed it off. It should be a process. And that is why we talk about technology, Dr. Anaba. Let's digitize our system, one. And the meteorological system is also helping us now. They are getting things right now. They warn us about these rains. What preparatory measures did we put in place? None. So to what you are saying, it goes beyond an MP of the area.
True.
The MP of the area does not even have the locum to do anything. It's only in this country we put so much burden on MPs as development agents. MPs are lawmakers. They have no role in the communities to do A, B, or C. But because of how our system are structured, it is like survivors or the fittest. If your pockets are deep and you can share so much money, you can give so much promising that are enticing, you get elected. And when you get elected, you have to face the music. So it's about time. It's about time we begin to tell Ghanaians the truth. Look, developmental agendas fall squarely on the district assemblies, not the MPs. There's too much burden on the MPs. That's why I'm praying that the constitutional amendment that is before Parliament, if it's implemented and decide that MPs don't have the leeway to become ministers, you see no one will be interested in going to Parliament. I'm telling you. And you see that MPs will not come out to say that, look, my role is just to come and make the laws. My role is not to do A and B. So my prayer, an honest prayer, is that such constitutional amendment should come into force. Then we can have that balance in our democracy. You understand? Then if and empower the MMDCs. Look, we have to also say this. We may be crucifying them for nothing. If you look at the way their common funds are released and how they are micromanaged, you understand? They don't really have the authority to do certain things. A DC is there, a minister or some big man within his party calls that give this person a permit. The DC in his mind knows that this is wrong thing to do. But if I don't do it, the seat I'm sitting on, by close of the day, I will hear on radio that I've been removed. So we must stop this kind of frontality in our body politic. Because it creates a lot of disasters. And look, disasters are increasing in Ghana. They are not decreasing. It means that we are not learning lessons from that. Look, very soon in the north, the Eastern Corridor, if Burkina Faso spills its dam, all farmlands in the Eastern Corridor will be flooded.
Be affected.
And it's a perennial issue. What have you done about it? Look, 6 years ago, I brought some people from Switzerland. And we met the then regional minister, SS, in the northern region. And they were prepared to fund a dam that will harvest this water. And this dam had a dual role. One, it could be used for hydroelectricity that will lessen the burden on Akosombo. The Paluwu Dam is different. Wanted to create a different one so that we can have irrigation all year round. The other side of the Eastern Corridor. Exactly. Right. So you see that we are talking about creating jobs. And our youth don't have jobs. But these are projects we can do to create jobs. And this thing has been on the table, not today, but no one is thinking about it. And in 2 months' time, we'll be in this studio talking about farmers crying for help in the Eastern Corridor.
Because it will happen.
It will happen. Yeah. So what is NADMO doing about it now? Education is not going on. And even the way rains are forecasted this year, if we don't take time, Akosombo may even get full and there will be spillage. And you know the last spillage, what happened? So as a country, we must take disaster management seriously. Look at how we can preempt instead of reacting to them anytime they occur.
Dr. Naba, let me reframe the question I asked them so that it reflects the duty of a member of parliament. So in the same situation, but this MP says, okay, so I will champion for the demolition of houses that are in the waterway. And that includes your house. Will a member of parliament, will a DCE ever be able to take a decision like this in the interest of everybody else?
The right thing to do is to take that decision.
Okay.
That is the right thing to do. If it's me, And I think that it is causing problems for the entire country. It's going to affect 80% of the population of Accra. I better let my piece of cake go so that we eat a bigger cake. But some people may not agree to it.
Yes.
But to me, there must be an authority to say that for the interest of 80% of Accra's population, I don't care about, I'll be like Donald Trump, I don't care about the 1,000 people. I'll have sympathy for you, but there can be a solution for you. 1,000 people, it's easy to move 1,800 people from a flooded area than to look for water to give to 80% of Accra population. So the best to do is to demolish those houses. How expensive are those houses? One life in that house, in one of those houses, is far more than the entire property in that area. But allowing the flood to go on, somebody can die. So to me, the best thing to do, whether you are a politician or you're not a politician, whatever, is to take a decision in the interest of the larger majority. That's what I would say. So demolishing houses there should be something that should be done. And demarcating the place. Now we have technology like my brother was mentioning. There are drones. Set up just a monitoring office. Just, I don't need an authority. A monitoring office. Give him a drone. Every day, the drone flies around the demarcated area. Set the drone to fly in that area. Take recording. The moment they see an infiltrator coming out within the demarcated area, they don't need permission. Just flag it. The military or whoever goes there, demolish it and go out. They do that 2-3 times.
But we need to create jobs. We need to create jobs as well.
But that is a job. The one sitting doing.
Or just one drone. We need an authority so that we can.
That one drone guy can coordinate and put those who are not working into work, because that person will activate NATMO. You activate the police, you activate the district assembly, you activate the security agencies. Somebody's encroaching on the what? The national assets. Then they all move. So people will be working. Other than that, they are sitting in their offices like you are saying.
The only thing that the person needs to activate more is all body cameras.
All right. So I think there are solutions. And I think those solutions are painful to a few, but they are very pleasant to a majority of us.
At the end,
we all benefit. Like I told you, the road from Ashaman to Afia, when they were expanding, the people were crying. Now everybody is clapping because the cars are moving freely and the traffic is not.
And talking about solutions, and I picked it when Mr. Koting was making his submission. So you see what happens in Parliament when the Auditor General is presenting its findings. About agencies.
I wanted to comment on the MP thing. So
okay, please do that then. Yeah.
You see, I did my service in Parliament. Proud to be. So if you are doing service, you don't start in September, the normal time. You mostly start in October. For me, thankfully, I started somewhere in July and did an additional 6 months. Moved from Parliament to Ghana Post, back to Parliament again. My brother, the MP job is one if you jealous or envy them, you are just wasting your time. The stress they go through.
I agree.
It's like evil spirit in the world. They say that the witchcraft or the wizardry is the least of them. I'm telling you, they are the least of the political class. But you see, we are a reflection of the leadership we want. He goes. I'm not using honorable just as an example. I know you will not do that. An MP goes. You know that your capacity cannot contain this. But the person will promise, because the person on ground also has ignored the clear responsibility that MP cannot do A, but the MP must say A to get a vote, and the MP will now be burdened. I have maintained a position, a principle in my life that I will never enter Honorable's constituency and promise on his behalf. Never. No. I will only speak to a national manifesto. But for an MP, go and mention to his or her people that, when he comes, he will do this. And tomorrow my voice and video will be there. I will just make an emotional appeal to you that I know that he can deliver. Deal with him on that.
Deliver based on what?
No. What is he saying? Because you see, I'll stay there. I look at them. You see, there are 3 things in this world, my brother. You should, if you engage in your home, your own family witches and witchcraft will not even follow you again or decide to destroy.
I just want to add to what you said. Knowing daughter Anaba, I think Dr. Anaba was more resourceful when he was not an MP than he became an MP. I know him. You understand?
Maybe as an MP, he's helping his constituency. Also,
he's giving back to the society.
So it's a service at that point.
Yeah.
But you see, people like Dr. Anaba and Co. should have been at the national level, given what they have done. You understand? You see, in Africa, it is about time we begin to nurture talent and scale up people who have already done something to put them into a pedestal where others can learn from. But when you go and mix them around with everybody, it kills talent. So honestly, I have had a personal conversation with her. I told her, look, Dr. Anaba, apart from the sacrifices you are doing for your people, I think that being a member of parliament has not helped him as a person.
You see, my brother.
Just so that we can put the conversation in
We're contributing small to national discourse.
Let's put the conversation in a good bracket. So, with what I was saying, when the Auditor General is presenting in finance, and we've seen the uproar that has come from the 13th African Games, for instance. So, the people watching on TV, listening on radio, they see that, hey, this ministry, this agency has misappropriated particular amount of money, the backlash that they get. Assuming that there was something similar to the findings of the Auditor General in Parliament, that, so I would also call it the Auditor General's findings and presentation in Parliament. But this one, it goes beyond money. And then it talks about, if you go to, let me use where I live, for instance, so Kwabenya. If you go to Kwabenya, the assembly there, I'm not talking about money, the assembly there gave 20 building permits to people who should not be building in certain areas. You see that image? So it moves the conversation from just the financial regulations, impropriety of the assemblies to the decisions they took wrong that should also be audited in a certain way that Parliament and other officials will know that this assembly is not doing the right thing, so that everybody now is against you. Because if you go to the constituency, if you go to the assemblies, there are people who know that these areas you should not build at. So now I come on TV and I hear that you should not build on this at this place, but my assembly has given you permit to go and build there. It means I will come against you, the assembly. I think this is also something that may help in a certain way.
I think you are making a very good proposal, and I think we should also look at it. Like every year, they come to report that NATMO spend this amount to rescue people from flood, from that. The Auditor General people should ask, were those houses the number of people they rescued and spent the monies on? Did they have authorized permits to build there? That's in the first place. And who gave them that permit to build at a place it is always flooding? Perhaps their questioning should go deep. But I think the Auditor General's interest is to see whether the documentation regarding the amount spent was correct.
Very good. No problem.
But if you want us to go deep, then we can isolate something like disasters to see whether the disaster was really natural or it was man-created. Because some of the disasters that we are seeing, building at illegal places, they are man-created. Because if he hadn't gone there to build, gone there to rent a room in the flooded area,
a building that was permitted by a certain assembly.
If that was really done, there wouldn't have been a disaster. So I think that we must go in deeper to investigate all this. But I think it's simple. See, the district assemblies, they know all the areas that flood. They know all where the water passes through. I'm just telling you, go to Labadi Hotel. The swampy area there that the water moves from Trade Fair going into the sea. Look, they are heaping gravel and filling it. And no one is saying anything. The bush road. Now the bush road. Take the bush road and you are going. You see it being covered completely. That river there is being narrowed. And very soon, areas in Chado will start getting floods. I'm telling you.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm sure you followed the conversation.
Yes,
now we're talking about how to solve it. And critical core of the conversation is responsibility. It cuts across various agencies, various departments. Mr. Coating is suggesting a particular agency to deal with the wager situation. And there's also the introduction of a certain form of auditing of the mistakes, not only financial mistakes of the assembly, so that everybody will know that at this assembly, they are fond of doing the wrong thing, not only money-wise, they are fond of giving licenses to people to go and build in areas where they should not be building at. And then it becomes a national conversation against particular people, and that it may be of help to preventing these things from happening.
So then we can look at, you see, we can look at town and country planning.
Yes.
What has been their role and responsibility per the law that established them? Lands Commission. Because before someone can put up a house, the person will have to buy the land, acquire the land. So Lands Commission, the assembly, the inspectorate part of the assembly, even EPA. So you can see that it's a whole lot. It is not just one institution.
True.
Or what. And the problem is, you see, Ghana, we don't enforce our laws. That is the problem we have in this country. We have beautiful laws in our books. The problem has always been enforcement. I mean, this wager issue, can you imagine? Every year, we know, every year, if the rain should come out or come down heavily, we are going to have such a problem. So what we do is that every year, we wait for the rains to come, the place gets flooded, then we pray that the rain stops early so that we can go back. Then the following year, the same thing recurs. But the question is, what have you done as a nation over the years to solve that particular problem? Should we solve it once and for all? Can't we relocate the people? Even those who have acquired land in an illegal way, can't we relocate them possibly? So that at least that catchment area can be protected. It's a major problem because now, if you look at, I listened to what other NADMOC or Data or Waterworks or one of the, I didn't know the person's name, but the person was talking about the fact that what they're experiencing at Weja is as a result of something that's happened at Insawam or something like that. So there was always overflow. So what it means is that so long as that overflow is going to continue, the Weja problem is going to persist. As a nation, can't we take one bold solution and say, we are relocating these people, whether they like it or not, we are going to have the political way to relocate them. Because that's the only way out. Apart from relocation, there's nothing we can do about it. Because we can't stop the rain from coming down, and we don't have anywhere that we can divert this rain to. Because the rain, as for rivers, they take their natural course. Relocation is the only solution. But the question is, do we have our politicians have the political will to do that?
I see.
That is the problem. And do we also punish people, heads of institutions, who fail to do what is required of them by the law? Do we punish them? Or you sell land illegally, you are good to go. As a building inspector of the assembly, you don't inspect, you don't go to the ground before you give permission. What do we do to you?
All of that should be mentioned.
I mean, so it's a whole problem. It's a whole lot, and we don't have to. As a nation, we just don't have to continue to accept some of these things as normal. That's the only way we can change it. The moment you begin to see it as normal, every year it's going to happen, and once it happens, you know that it's going to come. So let's get our things out.
Not to prevent, but to reduce the impact. Then we're losing the conversation.
So for me,
the way that, excuse me, we can audit all those houses. Let's start from there. Let the engineers, town and country planning, everybody go there, audit those houses, see who gave them the permit. Let's start from there.
Right.
If we start from there, I think we'll be able to do something, replicate it elsewhere, because it's becoming too much.
But Doc, if you say you are going to look at those who don't have permits,
and even those who have permits,
yes.
So whether you have permit or you don't have permit,
yes,
you need to be relocated.
Yes, that's all.
I mean, for me, that should be the argument.
So the responsibility definitely cuts across.
Everybody said that anybody could do the important things.
Let's shift to the conversation slightly. Because while the Wager Dam discussion brings us home to issues of planning, of safety and infrastructure, There is a bigger global conversation happening, and that still connects people to livelihoods. We're seeing increasing reports and debates around migration, particularly African migrants facing some tough conditions, stricter enforcement, and in some cases, hostility in different parts of the world. And this is where the conversation becomes more complex, because on one hand, countries argue they are simply enforcing immigration laws and protecting their systems. But on the other hand, there are concerns that the environment for migrants is becoming less tolerant. It is becoming more restrictive and in some cases increasingly difficult for particularly Africans trying to move in search of opportunity. So we want to explore what is changing, we want to explore why it is changing and what it means for Ghana and Africa in this current global climate. But of course, before that, there is the ledger of facts on global hostility or lawful control. So the data is telling us that there is 281 million international migrants worldwide. 281 international migrants. And that represents 3.6%. That's the share of the world population. 3.6% of humanity are international migrants. Maybe a potential cause or a possible cause, 123.2 million people are forcibly displaced globally. And 73.5 million people, they are displaced within their own countries. Now, to asylum seekers, 8.4 million people globally are awaiting asylum decisions worldwide. As of 2023, in 2023, 2.7 million new applications were received. And I'm talking about asylum applications. 6.5 people, permanent type migrants into various countries. And there's 2.4 million, more than 2.4 million temporary labor migration. And of course, a large chunk of them also are made up of students. International students, 2.1 million. European Union border crossings, 239,000. So this is the trend that we're seeing, that there's a 38% decline in border crossings threat. The trend is declining. And then there is the removal orders. Just for the European Union alone, in quarter 4 of 2024, 124,935 visa removal orders from the European Union alone. 28,630 people returned to third countries in quarter 4. Well, they were removed, so they had to come back home. And they came to third countries. And of course, the United States, it is leading this list. 271,000 plus people removed. And it means the full year of 2024. There's a sad bit of this conversation. I'm talking about migrant deaths and human trafficking profits. 63,000 plus migrant deaths. And then human trafficking profits, $236 million annual illegal profits generated globally as a result of these things that we're talking about. So the big question, are migrants facing global hostility, or are governments simply enforcing laws more aggressively as migration pressures rise? Let me situate the conversation for you. You know the latest from the Cambodian government. The government of Cambodia, they brought out a statement, official notice, Kingdom of Cambodia, for all African nationals in the Kingdom of Cambodia, into bracket Ghana, Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, and others. The statement says that the royal government of Cambodia, through the General Department of Immigration, Ministry of Interior, wishes to inform all African nationals, including citizens of Ghana, Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, and others, that the waiver granted to you will officially end on the 31st of May 2026. All foreign nationals whose fines have been cleared must leave Cambodia on or before 31st of May 2026. Even Cambodia. And it says that any foreign national who enters, remains, or is found in Cambodia from 1st June 2026, listen to this, will be arrested at the airport or at any location and shall serve a jail term of 2 years and pay a penalty of $8,000 before being allowed to leave Cambodia. It says that the Cambodia police will start arresting any foreigner or in any hideout in Cambodia from the 1st of June 2026 for overstay, and will hand over the immigration to the immigration authorities for illegal action. And this is from the Kingdom of Cambodia. Gentlemen, this is where we find ourselves right now. Is it, maybe I start with you, Mr. Koting, is it what the world is now turning into? But there is a clarification from the Kingdom of Cambodia, I believe, and this says that the General Department of Immigration of the Ministry of Interior of the Kingdom of Cambodia has the honor to inform the general and international public that the department has observed that recently certain websites with the address published information in English stating Cambodia orders Africans with expired immigration waivers to leave by May 31. And the General Department of Immigration of the Kingdom of Cambodia is saying that it is not true. So that was the initial concern that came exactly that came up. A statement was first making rounds saying that Cambodian says that leave. The Kingdom of Cambodia says that leave.
Very authentic. And who released the initial letter? Was it the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
This is issued by the Director General, Department of Immigration, Lieutenant General Sofiek, issued with a signature approved by the Ministry of the Secretary of State of Interior.
But this is fake.
Yes. So this is where we're coming to.
The digital age of AI. You see what AI can do?
But I said, don't conclude it.
So
maybe
it was the repercussion. Good. They looked at. They didn't envisage the
it is possible. So we're not going to.
And they've come to iron it out.
We're not going to say it is true or it is false, but it is situating the conversation. It appears. Everybody, we're talking about us. It appears everybody now wants to think about him or herself, nationalism, realism, and not looking at the conversations about liberalism, liberal institutionalism, amongst others. Ghana will be affected because the latest is South Africa. Cambodia now says it's not true, take it like that. But beyond South Africa, how does a country protect itself and its citizens from such happenings, not only in South Africa, not only the attacks of xenophobia, but eviction and returning? How does the country protect itself, Mr. Kuti?
Well, you see, lawful control is real and legitimate. You see, as a sovereign country, you deserve the right to determine who enters, who to vet, and to ensure that all illegals do not disturb the peace of the country. But to frame all kind of removal as bigotry, I think it's just simply surrendering the truth, and by so doing we lose credibility with very serious audience. I think that where the challenge comes is when it crosses three lines. When it is proportionate and targeting. And if you look at all over the world, from the United States even to South Africa, African migrants and majority Muslim countries have been targeted. And I think that is where it is not longer about security, and we can make arguments of the bigotry aspect. The second one is due process. When you are deporting somebody and you don't follow due process, it infringes on several rights of such individuals. Like in the instant case when Ghana receives some African deportees and frame it in the West, in the ECOWAS sovereignty arrangement, you know. And truly Ghana did that to save their relationship with the US and for economic reasons and for caps on the visas to be waived. But you see, there was an argument here where we spoke about what the country received in exchange of that, and the government said no, nothing. And that's why Parliament should be very interested. If there was nothing, it falls in line with the right to information question. So they should make it public and everybody knows what is there.
Was in Parliament to explain. But
the questions that were, you see, just coming to Parliament and answering questions doesn't go far enough.
Right.
I think in the spirit of transparency and given the nature and tangent this very issue took, and the other West African countries were not happy that Ghana of all could do what we did. You understand?
In which matter?
You know, the West African returnees that were received.
Yes.
And you know, the lawyer Vema Oemko argue about the conditions.
That one, the excuse from the minister was poor.
The way they were handled, and some were even moved to Togo when pressure came. And that, the third aspect is the cohesion aspect. When the big countries try to use cohesion on smaller nations to accept these deportees, I think when that happens, it doesn't go far enough. So I think that by and large, as a sovereign country, we also protect our borders, don't we? What I'm seeing happening around the world is that there's a new paradigm shift where every country is trying to protect its citizens.
True.
And I think as Africans, we must also do that. Ghana alone cannot do it because we are so small. That's why we must frame it in the ECOWAS or the African Union lens where we'll get a legitimate bargaining power. I think Africa, given the resources God has endowed us with, is a wake-up call for our leaders to do the right things. If we want to develop our country, there will not be any need for any of our impressionable youths to go through these perilous journeys in the name of seeking greener pastures. So it's a wake-up call for us. Look, in this country, the law is clear that foreigners are not allowed in retail markets. Is that not the case? It is happening. The last time the trade union rose against it became a different matter. Look at what South Africa is doing. South Africa that came out of apartheid through the blood and thought of the collective Africa is now targeting their fellow Africans. They are the cause of their woes in South Africa. And you know the former president of South Africa, Botha, made a statement that the African is not capable of managing his own affairs. And that is the true reflection that is happening in South Africa now. And as a Ghanaian, I'm concerned. There should be retaliatory measures. The South African High Commissioner has no place in Ghana as we stand, given the spectacle we saw in South Africa, to the extent that we are using our taxpayers' money that would have otherwise gone into the other developmental agendas to evacuate our citizens from South Africa.
We should sack him.
Yes, he should leave. The South African High Commissioner should be sacked from Ghana as a retaliatory measure. Because if, of course, look, what is diplomacy? Look, the current South African president during apartheid, he schooled in Ghana here.
Yes.
He benefited from everything in Ghana here. So if it's the president sitting out there and fellow Africans, I'm not even saying Ghanaians, are being maltreated the way they are being maltreated, what business has the High Commissioner of South Africa got to do in Ghana?
So you think the principle of reciprocity in diplomacy should come in play?
It should come in, because quiet diplomacy has not helped. And you see how smart they are. When they realized Ghana started pulling off, and other African countries will take the same measure. Already Uganda have started also removing its citizens. You understand? President Museveni welcomed the first 2 batches even before we received ours. They said that we took that action too quickly. So when these people were doing what they were doing, what did the state power do? And you see, I also want to urge the government. I really commend them for this bold action. But just bringing the returnees and leaving them at the airport doesn't go far enough.
They supported them.
Wait. And that is the problem with us. You see, there should have been a catchment area to hold them. You give them psychosocial help. Look at their demographics and how you resettle them. That is how decent countries treat its citizens.
That's the ideal situation. But granted that what was happening in South Africa did not allow us time to sit and think and plan and create.
No, that's not an excuse. No. Look,
it was like a war situation. Human lives first.
Listen,
leave the situation, and then later you can plan.
In as much as we are praising the government, let's don't run away from the truth and pack ourselves at the back that we've done well. If you just bring these people home without any form of livelihood, you've done nothing to them. Nothing, virtually nothing.
Maybe you're
some
of them lives. Just that one.
That is a lot.
What security screening did we even give to these people? What security screening? I just saw that people went and met them, make the political capital out of it. Social media is flooding and praising the government. Which myself, I'm commending the government. But what I'm saying that it should go far beyond that.
Okay, that point.
These people need psychosocial therapy. You know that,
right?
That's
we have how many psychologists do we have in Ghana?
You have let them
how
to
many
go.
psychologists do we have in Ghana?
And even to add, your interior minister is saying that over 4,000 recruits failed their medicals as a result of mental health. That is very serious.
So where were we going to get the psychologists?
No, what basis?
These people, these people are psychologically sound. It's just that they had an acute phase of trauma.
What systems?
If they were in South Africa, they were able to live outside their own territory, living alone there, so that they are psychologically fit. It's just that they had a trauma of how to leave the place abruptly. That does not mean that they are psychologically unfit.
Even if they are unfit, the Foreign Affairs Ministry says that service is available for them. They are willing to provide it for them.
Anybody who wants can go for those services. It doesn't matter. But for me, at least, taking them out of the fire
is a good step.
It's a good step.
But
bringing them here.
What resettlement plan do you have for them?
The resettlement, they've given them some transportation to get to their hometowns, and then we see Ghanaians. We like socializing. We help ourselves.
We can't continue. We can't continue.
For now, let's look at those who are still there. You see, for now, some are still there. Now we have to work to bring home. We've not finished evacuating all of them. If we want to concentrate on only those who have come home, it means those left there would have serious challenges.
I understand you, but what Putin is also saying is also very important.
Now the Foreign Affairs Ministry has done its own. It's left with the Ministry of Interior or whatever to do their part.
Okay,
so let's allow the Minister for Interior to handle the rest. Foreign Affairs is doing its part and bringing them. Minister of Interior will work on the other aspects. If the health minister has to come in to give them psychological treatment or whatever assessment, they can do it. If they want to do their background check on their criminal.
So after letting the people go home, how are you going to trace them and do that?
Look, did you need to go and camp them at one place?
That is the disaster preparedness we are talking about.
We have a disaster. We have a disaster at hand now.
Wait.
We prioritize. Look, we are prioritizing.
Dog, look at this.
You don't even know what the government is doing for them.
It was a government decision. One.
Yes.
You plan apparently.
Yes.
Voter resources.
Yes.
Chartered an aircraft.
Yes.
And the sad thing is that it was Ethiopia Airline that brought them, not even a Ghana Airline. So that is a blunt on us as a country.
We don't have a Ghana Airways. We don't have a Ghana Airways. You don't leave Ghana Airways for us.
Those deportees at the airport didn't go far enough.
Look. The minimum we could do, we've done it. If we want to add other pegs to it, it's welcome. But you have to do the basics, and the basics were done.
They are back in the country. But it is also true.
And I don't know what they were exposed to.
And let me. And entry, I'm sure you would. Hold on.
Screen them for what?
Take this money and go.
No, screen them for what?
No, Mr. Kosi, hold on.
Everybody has screened them.
Hold on for me.
They did all the screens over there.
No.
They know where they were. They announced they all came. They wrote their name. They have all their details. And they go to Ghana and even know where they are going.
Doc, allow me.
To go. So please.
Allow me, Doc.
The government has done its best.
Allow me, Doc.
Today I was siding with you up until you said that you are prioritizing things. So those people, Ghanaians, will help themselves. Hey, Charlie, people are coming out of a disaster. My brother, let me be clear. I'm joining my brother Kutin to say, let's commend the government. They've brought human lives. You know, I'm very particular about human life. And mostly yesterday on a sister station, I made it clear that let's not even discuss the packages. You know why? If you try to discuss the package, it will discourage somebody coming. Because even they coming into this country, my brother, assess 24-hour economy. Where's the life of it? Look at what is happening in this country. If you discuss it thoroughly, people will not even care about their lives and decide to stay there. You remember on the 4th of March 2022, there was an evacuation in Ghana, in Ukraine.
Yes.
Bringing students. President Akufo-Addo released $2 million for that. Even with that, in the clear glare of people flying bombs and here and there, people want us to still stay in Ukraine. So if we discuss the packages now, my brother, the problems we are going to have, because just imagine that the person is coming to get a job, and the person comes and 24-hour economy does not even have a lifeline, and you find a minister of labor who's even dealing with it.
I'm coming. I like how you say we should not discuss it.
We're not going to be
Exactly.
I'm not politicizing.
Exactly.
Honorable. If I'm dealing with your policies, that is why I mentioned that.
Hold on.
My brother, yes. I want to ask this question. What is in Cambodia? That somebody will leave Ghana to Cambodia? It is not true.
Yes.
But you see, we are doing the balancing here. It might be that they tested the ground and the pressure on them had made them depart. Or let's even go by what they are saying is not true. Let's come back to South Africa. My brother, Honorable, let everybody, every single soul, condemn what South Africa is doing.
Oh, yeah, as for that.
Condemn it. In no uncertain terms. Condemn it in no uncertain terms. But you see, I want the Minister for Foreign Affairs to go another step further. Right. The step further is that he has placed it before the Media Coordination Program of AU, that they will discuss it, I think the first week in June. He should go a step further. The step further is that he should make it an official resolution going through the technical committee level to the PRCs, to the executive committee where he is, and it should end up to the heads of state. And this time around, we are begging the minister, he should engage. Why do I say he should engage? My brother, you remember reparations? We had all the numbers. We are celebrating it. What has become of it?
It's a long process.
Relax. What I'm telling you is that international law mostly is not binding on the state. Yeah. Those who will commit and pay the reparations either abstained or did not vote. So we are begging the minister, he should go the step further of engaging all all the foreign ministers in the 53 or 54 states, so that when you go through the technical stage and it gets to the top, you get our heads of state committing to it. We must deal with this xenophobic or Afrophobic or whichever phobic root and branch. The last thing is that you heard Mr. Kotin mentioning evacuation plan and others. We saw evacuation happening about 6 or so times under the MPP government. We didn't hear the noise. Maybe they chose the jamboree style of taking media and others. That is fine. But the state must resolve of getting an effective evacuation plan for successive government to comply with it. Else we will come here and people now psychosocial whatsoever will be moving around. My fear is that if you leave it to the health minister, you remember the DNA test of our fallen heroes. How he handled it as if a content he's creating.
So Entry, what you're saying about the evacuation plan, it will then fall beyond politics to maybe a state something. The National Development Planning Commission something can look at instituting a framework that whenever we hear or there's a crisis of Ghanaians abroad, we trigger that process, we follow it, and then we bring our people back home. Yes, Doc.
You see, to say that we created a jamboree to receive them, I think it's neither here nor there. How would Ghanaians, you see, Ghanaians will be sometimes, I don't want to use that word, we want accountability, but we don't want anybody to be called to book. If these people had arrived and the foreign minister hadn't gone there,
It is not going there. Going there, shaking them, shouting.
Please, you must empathize with them. You must show that you care for them.
You are saying Ghanaians will take care of themselves.
If you fail to do
your 24-hour economy, have you sorted it?
If you fail to do it, we are doing it. We are having more empathy for them.
Gentlemen, what I want to say is that there is no problem whatsoever. There is no problem whatsoever that we brought our nationals here. Your microphones are off, though. I'm coming. There's no problem whatsoever that we brought our own nationals into the country and then we decide to welcome them. Listen, there's no problem that you have brought your citizens from crisis and they decide to welcome them. In my opinion, there's no problem with that. But I agree with Mr. Koting that beyond the welcome, what happens to them? That is also very important.
And you see what is going to happen.
We'll definitely follow it up. It's okay. Yes.
What the government did was very good.
Ebo has no last word.
Ebo
has no last word.
It's been a good morning. It's been a good morning here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. And I want to invite Kay into the conversation briefly before we go. Kay, I'm sure you've listened to the gentleman here. Interesting perspectives there.
It was an interesting one, in fact. Yeah. But I love what the gentleman in white was
Emmanuel Koting.
Yes, Emmanuel Koting. I like what he was saying. It makes a lot of sense. It resonated quite well with me.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll have to go. We have to go this morning. Before we go, okay, it's Friday. How do you spend your weekends?
Usually resting, writing.
On paper, that's what Kay will say. But in reality,
I'm an indoor person.
I
see. I think most people who know Kay. No, he likes his indoor. Yeah.
We'll hear you, Kay. Let's wish a happy birthday to a few people celebrating their birthdays today. If today is your birthday, wish you a happy birthday. We're celebrating your birthday with these people.
Because all I ever had, redemption song, Lord, you
Our first celebrant this morning. Happy birthday to Michelle, Miguel, and Michaela from your mom and dad and Auntie Mavis. They say that they love you. Happy birthday to the girl who makes my world brighter just by being in it. Happy birthday. You're my favorite thought, my biggest blessing, and my greatest adventure. I hope today brings you as much happiness as you brought into my life. Thank you for being you. I love you endlessly. Oh, we're looking for who sent this message. We can't find the person. Okay, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you from a very special person. This one, it says, happy birthday, Mausi Imelda. God bless your new age and cheers to greatness from Elik Plim. Happy birthday to you. And to a brother here, a glorious birthday to brother Justice Kofi Ampadu. May your special day be filled with sweet memories and every beautiful thing that you wished. Happy birthday to you, Justice Kofi Ampadu. There's another one from DJ Abiam. It says, glorious happy birthday to GO2 Stella Adoma of the Ghana National Fire Service. Regional Headquarters, Kufredia. May God bless your new age and grant you all your wishes from Festus Opon Ohene Textiles Ghana Limited, GTP. Okay, happy birthday to you. There's another one here. It says, my dad's birthday, Flight Lieutenant retired Franklin Ajakujo. Oh, that's Kekujo. Oh, Kekujo's old boy.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Franklin Ajakujo, writer, veteran, and a lawyer. Thank you for your service. Mr. Franklin Ajakujo is from Kekujo. Okay, you want to say something small to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's his birthday today.
Yeah.
He's been an awesome dad, not just to me, but to everyone who has experienced him. And we just want him to know that we care a lot and we love him through the storms, silence, victories, and scars. Your love has always stood steady like an ancient river refusing to dry. So on your birthday, may time return to you a measure of strength, wisdom, and sacrifice you poured into others. Happy birthday.
That's a lovely message there from Kekujo to his father. And finally, happy birthday to you, Ivy Boateng of Ascent Digital Solutions. May God bless you more. Continue being an amazing woman. Enjoy your day, Ivy, from all your friends. This message... Abiam sent to the message earlier. Wrote something else inside the message, something nice, and then deleted it. And now it says from your friends. Happy birthday to you, Ivy Boateng. God bless your new age. That's our package for you this morning. My name is Noble Crosby, and thank you so much for being part of our morning. You can log on to 3news.com for more stories, more news. It's Friday. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you again next week, Monday, God willing. Until then, take care, be safe, live, love. Bye-bye.
Celebration. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your day. Happy birthday.